What's up, everybody? We're live. We're live, supposedly. And what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Adam. It is February 11th, and this is your live stream for the week. Not sure who's in the house right now, but oh my goodness, I got to do some housekeeping on my screen here, or else I'm not going to be able to figure out what's what as we go through tonight. But it's like I think I've got everything in here that's supposed to be here. All right. What's up, everybody? We'll just chat. But it's never there's never I can't even formulate words right now. It is never a dull moment in my life, for sure. Every day is wild. I've told people in recent times, I've said to people, I just wish I could be a normal guy like everybody else, but it just never was in the cards. Never had I don't think I've ever had what somebody would say is a normal day, and not one time in my life. I think when I was young, like, I don't know, sometime in my teenage years, I think I said a prayer, or I just said I was bored. I wish I'd never be bored again. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for, because you might actually get that. Boy, we got 8 people already. Wow, it's like record speed today. Must have been the thumbnail on the video today. But before we get into the main topic of the video, feel free to jump into the chat. If you go to the there's a link at the top of the chat pinned, links.litgood.com, and if you click on that, they'll show you everything that I'm up to on any given day. Right now I'm focused mostly on YouTube. I'm on X, but I'm a little burned out from all the politics. I mean, did anybody watch Pam Bondi today in Congress? Talking about, my God, how much of an evil piece of shit do you have to be to put everything that you have into defending child rapists, and to put up a wall to not do your job as the Attorney General of the United States to prosecute child molesters? I don't understand what the fuck is going on there. And believe me, do you think that I'm not mad about this crooked fucking government? I went to prison. It says right here on top of my links page, 2 years in federal prison for some fucking tweets. And then I'm sitting here watching a bunch of fucking child molesters who raped kids on a private island. They're all living their best life. And these fucking pricks that threw me in prison for 2 years, 2 years in prison for a fucking tweet. I'm watching these people who threw me in there covering up for child rape. And a lot of them are saying, well, if all of the people that are in those files get exposed, our whole country will collapse. Yeah, exactly. Let the fucking thing burn to the ground. Let the fucking thing burn, if that's what it's going to be. I am not the only one who's sick and tired of this shit. And what a fucking insult. How would you feel if you went to federal prison for 2 years for a tweet, and then you come home and you watch all these fucking kid diddlers getting away with that shit and living their best life, and the people at the top, the people that went balls to the wall to put you in prison for a fucking tweet, they're all out there putting even more effort in to prevent child molesters from going to jail? Would you be a little bit bitter? So if it's my mission in life to speak out against that, oh, here goes the numbers we're dropping. Can't say some real shit without losing half your, boom, down to 5, lost half. You can't say some real shit without losing half the fucking people who are watching you. Oh, well, don't give a fuck. It's so fucking hilarious to watch it. But yeah, I mean, that's small talk for today. That is not the topic of discussion for today, but that is every time I go to X, that's all I see. And X has just gotten to the point where I want to build a presence there, especially since I'm freaking paying for it now. Like now they got me locked in because I don't want to lose my screen name. They let you reclaim screen names that aren't being used. And somebody had my Lit Good screen name for years and years and never used it, so I was able to snatch it. But now I have to have a paid X account in order to keep my screen name. And if I don't pay for it, I lose my screen name. So I gotta, it's just another thing. I just look at it like, God will take care of it. But yeah, it's Glenn, you say, didn't see the Pam Bondi thing, but I'm getting a little tired. It's been a long road, Adam. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fucked up that, so yeah, we had 10 viewers, now we're down to 4. And it's because I'm a fucking asshole for saying we should go after child rapists. Can the child rapists be the asshole? Or is it always got to be the messenger? Is it always got to be Adam's the asshole for talking about the shit that these crooked people do? But the crooked people who do the thing, they never get to be the asshole. They're living their best life. They got millions of viewers, millions of followers, people worshiping them everywhere they go. What the fuck? It just, I don't know. Whenever people tell me to shut up, I don't want to talk about that. Look, we're down to 3. We're down to 3. Lost, that was 70% of the crowd peaced out because I talked about this. And, but people are like, I don't want to talk about that. Well, what if that was your kid? What if that was your kid that got kidnapped and taken to a billionaire island to get tossed around and raped all fucking week? Like, would you, and then people are telling you, I don't want to talk about that shit. You're a fucking asshole. Would you be a little bit upset? It would never be out of my mind if I went to federal prison for 2 years for a tweet. I had to take back my medication the other day because the lady that dispensed it was coughing into her hand and then handling my medication. Yeah, that's like me blowing a fucking booger on a cookie and going, here you go, and handing it to a customer, man. Or being like, here's your Dubai brownie, homie. Oh my God. Now we're down to 2 viewers. What the fuck, man? This YouTube shit drives me nuts. But here I am. I'm doing it. What am I supposed to talk about? Sunshine and rainbows and a bunch of fucking... The most retarded shit on this channel becomes the most popular stuff. And, I'm not making fun of anybody who's here right now. Now we're down to 1. It's freaking hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. You cannot talk about anything real without driving everybody home. Bread and circus. I mean, that is the topic of today's show. The bread and circus. I want football and I want beer and I don't want to talk about anything else. Just give me the football, give me the beer. That's why when they shut the country down for the COVID scam, they took away the football. But they didn't take away the beer. In fact, all the stores in town were closed except for the liquor store. Remember that? They kept the liquor store up and running 24/7. They were not going to deprive people of beer and football, because if they did, there would have been fucking riots. The whole city of Washington, D.C. would have been burned to the ground overnight. But that is we're talking about the topic of today's show. But I'm just going to chit chat for a minute until we get a crowd. Maybe people start to file back in. Whatever, dude. I don't really care. Uh, let's see. So you're talking about someone coughed on your medication. Yeah, that's going to really help you get better. I thought about it, thinking that I could just sanitize those containers later at home, but in the end, it dwelled on my mind so much. I just took the whole medication back and told them I didn't even want my money back. But the manager decided to repackage the medication. Did the manager just put the same pills back in a new bottle, or did they give you new pills? Um, I don't know, man. yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with food. You don't want people coughing on your food and then handing it to you. But when you're sick and you're getting medication and then all over your pills, here, hope you feel better. Now, in a grid down situation, in a SHTF scenario, it's the end of the world and we're in the end times. If someone coughs on your malaria pills or your penicillin or whatever, you're just gonna have to take a risk because you can only get what you can get. But in until that day, no, I wouldn't want people coughing on my pills. Um, so let's see here. I've got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. I don't know if Blue Sky is in the house. If you are, give a shout out because I know that you like the part that I'm going to talk about next. But let's see. I accepted that. Nobody wants to talk. Okay. Glenn says, "Oh, what's up, Blue Sky?" Glenn says nobody wants to talk about anything that actually takes their mind into actually looking where their morals exist. No, they don't. I woke up and I started to wake up. My tinfoil hat was forged in 1996 when I knew somebody who died on TWA Flight 800. Her name was Judy Penzer. She was a famous artist in Pittsburgh. She painted some really big murals, some famous paintings that she was well known at the time. And I knew her loosely because she used to come in when I was an art student at art school. I used to work at a Kinko's across the street from the school. And she used to come in and bother me every weekend. But then I got to know her. And then I actually looked forward to seeing her on the weekends because she was pretty cool. So when I was about to graduate, I was maybe 6 months away from graduating art school. And they had a news bulletin on TV that TWA Flight 800 had crashed off the coast of Long Island. But the reason why the Pittsburgh news was latching onto it so much is because she died. She was on the plane. And so I was like, whoa, like that hit me because I knew her. And I we weren't like tight. We weren't like best friends or nothing, but I knew her. Like I could probably see her walking down the street and be like, hey, what's up? That kind of thing. I mean, we talked enough to, I had a lot of respect for her. And so basically over the next several years, as things were coming out about that scam, it was a cover up. The government, 150 people on the coast of Long Island said they saw something go up in the air and go boom. And then the plane goes down. Okay. Like it was shot down with a missile or something. Like a terrorist could have been out in a boat with a shoulder fired rocket or something and shot this plane down. But the government comes out with this bullshit story like, oh, yeah, the wings fell off. Yeah, it's just, the wings fell off. They know that happens. Or they just gave us some bullshit story. The FBI said, oh, those 150 witnesses that saw it are a bunch of fucking liars. Because you can trust the FBI, the same FBI that's trying to cover up for a bunch of crooked ass rich child molesters so that we can keep our government intact. So anyway, I woke up way back then. That was like 1996. And Glenn, your comment there about so few people are ready to talk about difficult things. The government doesn't want you talking about anything that is going wrong right now, Adam. But it's people don't want to listen to it. And this is, I mean, I'm just talking. I've got no notes to talk about what I'm talking about here. I'm just going from experience. I thought for a long time it was my mission to wake people up. Like, I'm like, for a long time, I was like the evangelist with the white shirt and the black name tag, knocking on people's doors. Like, have you heard about the second coming of Jesus Christ? Like the Mormons. Like, I felt like it was my duty to go wake people up. And I'm going to be a truth teller. I'm going to be on the internet. I've dabbled in so many things. Me and a best friend were doing a podcast for a long time, and we were, I was into all this stuff, and I was trying to wake people up. And the one thing I found out is when you try to wake people up, they treat you just like they treat the Jehovah's Witnesses when you go knocking on doors. Get the fuck out. Boom, slam that door in your face. And so for a long time it was discouraging, because you just like, why would you not? Why do all you motherfuckers want to be ruled over by a bunch of scumbag billionaire pedophiles who rape kids on private islands? Like, why are you cool with that? Oh, as long as you get your beer and your football, you're good. And I still don't understand it. But there's a big difference in where I am right now to where I was back then. And the difference is this. I don't know if you've ever heard a saying like this, or the saying like, out on the plains of the Serengeti in Africa, in the wild grasslands, when a herd of zebra are grazing right now as we speak, and they're surrounded by lions, right? And if you're a zebra, it don't matter where you are, what time of day or night, everywhere you look, there's lions all over the freaking place just waiting to get you. And you might think, I got to be faster than these lions or I'm going to die. But that's not the case at all. You don't have to be faster than the lion. You just have to be faster than the slowest, dumbest zebra in the herd. You're going to be just fine. Because the lions, they're going to go after the easy kill. They're not going after the alpha. They're not going after the strong zebra that can run fast, that can kick them in the face, etc., etc. We're looking for the dumbass zebra that isn't paying any attention, doesn't think that there's anything to worry about, and they're going after that zebra. So the same thing applies with us, right? We're surrounded by predators. We're ruled over by predators. We're ruled over by a bunch of elite satanic child molesting cocksuckers who will throw me in prison for 2 years over a tweet while they're going out and raping kids on a private island and living their best life. And they have they don't see anything wrong with that. Those are the predators that we're surrounded by. I got caught up in this shit. So I know what they'll do. And they'll do a hell of a lot worse to some of us than that. And we, look up the Bill Clinton body count. If you want to know what else they can do to you, the Clinton body count will wake you up. And that's just one little piece of the rabbit hole. But the point is, we're all a bunch of zebra, the peasants. We're just a bunch of dumb peasants out on the plains of the Serengeti grazing, and we're surrounded by lions that want to devour us. Hyenas, lions, predators. Everywhere you look, there's predators. But you don't got to be faster than the predator to get away and to live your best life. You just got to be faster than the dumbest sheep in the herd. And that's why we're calling them sheep. So these ignorant dingbats that don't want to pay any attention, that don't want to know what's going on, the ones that get mad at me, call me an asshole when I'm just trying to tell you, hey, look out. This is what's going on. It's affecting all of us, The reason why your life fucking sucks right now mostly revolves around the people at the top that are raping kids on private islands and doing all kinds of other crooked shit to us. And the fact that 90% of people in this country don't give a shit about it, and all they care about is the football game and beer. That's why our lives suck right now. That's why you go to the fucking grocery store, and I used to be able to fill a whole shopping cart for $100. not that long ago. And now I can't even kick the little fucking basket with the 2 handles. I can't even fill one of those for $100 now. But we're not making 10 times more. The same jobs pay the same as they used to. The only way that you're going to get ahead is by climbing the fucking ladder. And and finding a better gig. So at this point, I'm like, whatever, man. When the shit hits the fan, all of us people that are awake, all the people that know what's going on, we're going to see it coming with plenty of time to spare. Back in 2020, if they start pulling that crap again, police state, everybody stay home. We're going to block off all the major highways. We're going to lock you down. The whole country's on lockdown, blah, blah, blah. The people that are awake, we're going to have seen this coming with plenty of time to get our shit together, get out to the fucking woods, wherever the fuck we're going to make our last stand. We're going to have time to get our act together because all these dumbass sheep are just going to be walking around going, meh, meh, beer, football, beer, football, right? That's all they give a fuck about. They're not going to be paying any attention. And when they start rounding up people to take them to the concentration camps and all the shit that they always do, read a history book. When the shit goes downhill in your country, people are going to the fucking camps. Well, guess what? It's the dumbass sheep and the fucking retards that are going to the camps. Not the people that are awake, not the people that are paying attention. So we need the people. So I don't give a fuck about waking people up anymore. The more people, the more dummies that are asleep and the more sheep walking around out there, I'm fine with it. Because that's like the buffer zone now. It's like the predators are coming for you because you're easy prey before they come for me. You dumbass sheep are actually going to give me time to get my shit together and survive. So thank you for being stupid. I'm fine with it. I'm not trying to wake you up. In fact, I hope you don't. Every time I go outside, every single time I go outside in Houston, Texas, I see a bunch of fucking retards walking around in a COVID mask. I swear to God, there's got to be 1 million people in this city with a sock monkey tan line going around their mouth because that part of their face, this part of their face, has never seen the sun. And the rest of their face is getting a tan. Like, you look just like a fucking sock monkey puppet. Like from when I was a kid. My aunt used to make those things and give them to us. Like, that's what you people look like. You fucking mask wearing idiots. Speaking of masks, I did post a video to the channel this week from the park. Now, a week ago, I posted a video to the channel from the park down the street, and it did really well. It got over 700 views or something like that, and which is pretty high for this channel right now. I felt like I was breaking through the YouTube shadow ban for a minute. I put another video out last week, or actually it went live on Monday to the public, called "Take Off Your Fucking Mask." That was the title of the video. Got like 100 views. I guarantee you it's because of the title. Take off your fucking mask. And people either got mad that I swore. I put a little asterisk instead of the U so that all you people who get offended by my potty mouth, it's not fucking, it's, like I covered it up like I'm supposed to. I don't know what YouTube would do if I put a swear word right in the title. Usually they tell you got to wait like 1.5 minutes or something like that before you can drop the F-bomb without screwing up the algorithm. But whatever. I'm sure people saw that and they thought I was talking about COVID masks, but the actual topic of the video was people who hide behind a mask on the internet. And a lot of people like the top, these top tier content providers. There's a lot of people in the podcasting game and the media game and this whole, video game who have huge followers, 4 million followers, 1 million followers, hundreds of thousands of followers, and they hide behind a mask and you never see their face. They don't tell you their real name and you never know who the fuck they are. And then, I was talking about people who come to the channel and troll, and you know, people who troll the channel here, what do you see? You always see the same thing. You see some stupid screen name, you know, douchebag 1794326, because douchebag was taken. So they're the 1,792 person that wanted douchebag for a screen name. They just took the random number that YouTube generated. You click on their profile link, it takes you to a blank YouTube page with no followers, no viewers, no videos, not even a picture of the person's face, and they come and troll your channel, and they want to be seen as credible. And I'm like, how the fuck are you credible and I'm not? I'm the one who's got my real name attached to the channel. It's either it's there or up there or down. I don't know where they put it on the thing that you're watching it on, but my real name's right there. And here's my face. I'm right here. Come and get it. Like, I'm not hiding behind a mask. And you know, you got these big like cat turd hiding behind a picture of a cat. And even if you do see the dude's face, he's wearing sunglasses and a dumbass hillbilly cowboy hat, and you don't know his name. He'll never. I mean, people do know who he is and where he lives. People have doxed that motherfucker to death. You can find out everything you want to know about him, but he won't talk about it. He's still hiding behind his mask. And he's got 4 million followers. It's like, dude, take your fucking mask off, dude. This is your full-time job. You're making 6 figures a month on your fucking X account alone. Like, take off your mask, dude. Like, what are you hiding from now? Everybody knows who you it's not even like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. But like I said, the topic of this show is kind of like, you know, the bread and circus. But before I even dig into we're not even half an hour in today. I'm going to go through some of your comments because, boy, they're flying at me. Okay, hold up. I'm trying to figure out where we are here. Oops, I just screwed up my window arrangement. Oh, come on. There we go. And I want to pull this one down. Come on. There we go. So I can see the whole chat. Okay. Oh, let's see. Blue sky is Mandela affected. Trust me, no one wants to talk about that topic either. I'll talk about that. I think it's funny. I was just watching Return of the Jedi last night where C-3PO has a silver leg. And no, I don't remember C-3PO ever having a silver leg until the Mandela videos started putting that out. Like, he was always a golden robot. Never had all of a sudden he has a silver leg. Where the fuck did that come from? You know, always going to bring Star Wars into the stream. My tinfoil hat turned into a crown of knowledge, Adam. Well, my tinfoil hat, I'm like the B-52 singing tinfoil hat, rusted, because my tinfoil hat has got a patina on it because it's the 19. I can't even do the math. It's so old. 1996, so 2006, 16, 26. My tinfoil hat just celebrated its 30-year anniversary, or it's in June or July of this year, 2026. The anniversary of TWA Flight 800 will be the 30th anniversary of my tinfoil hat. Maybe I need to mark that on my calendar so that I can do a anniversary stream of my maybe I'll pull the tinfoil hat out and put it on for that stream. I don't know. But Christina Williams 1456. I used to watch your videos when you were homeless in Pittsburgh. I used to work in Pittsburgh. Glad you were somehow to get out of that horrible situation. Well, thank you. It was actually Jamestown, New York, where I was homeless, but that's fine because I talk about living in Pittsburgh all the time. I lived in Pittsburgh from like 1994 all the way through 2015. And then I moved an hour away, but my whole life still was in Pittsburgh. I moved out to Amish country to get away from the city, but I still considered myself to live in Pittsburgh. But after I got out of federal prison, going to federal prison for 2 years over a tweet, I went to Jamestown, New York, because that's where my girlfriend lived. and she tossed me to the curb to be homeless a few weeks after I was home. So, yeah, that's why I was homeless in Jamestown, New York. And my options, the federal government basically forced me to be homeless from the beginning of May all the way through September. Just they weren't gonna they wouldn't let me go anywhere where I could stay and have a home. They forced me to stay in Jamestown. But then somebody from the Pittsburgh department of whatever the fuck found out what was going on and got pissed, stepped in on my behalf and put the paperwork through and kind of gave me the choice of what do you want to do, Adam? Do you want to stay in Jamestown and keep trying to figure out how to build your life there? Do you want to come to Pittsburgh, or do you want to go to Houston where you got a friend that you can stay with? And I wanted to go to Pittsburgh, but they told me that the only option for me at the time, because I didn't have a place to stay, they're like, well, we're going to put you in a halfway house if you come to Pittsburgh until you can find your own place and get your shit together. And I'm like, yo, no. Because if you're in prison and they send you to a halfway house, well, you're halfway home. And that's not so bad. But when you're living free, when you're out on the street and you might be under probation for a while, but when you're out of prison and you're actually living your life and doing your thing and blah, 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 and then they tell you, oh, we're going to put you in a halfway house, you're going halfway back to prison. That's not going to fucking work for me. So even though I had a million reasons to want to be in Pittsburgh versus here in Houston, I'm not going halfway back to prison because my psychotic nut job ex-girlfriend threw me out to the fucking street to be homeless. Like, I don't deserve to be punished for that, to be sent halfway back to prison. Fuck that. So I chose Houston. They put the paperwork through. It took a while. Then I got to move here, and that's the end of that. Everything's been going positive since I've lived here. And I'm just kind of accepting it in the sense that I think God brought me here for a reason. And I'm not 100% sure what all the reasons are. I know it's more than one, but there's a reason that I'm here. And I'm, to tell you the truth, it's February. It's 80 degrees outside every other day. We had a couple of cold days, and now it's back to 80 degrees every day. 80 degrees and sunny day after day after day after day. And it's February. And I look at Pittsburgh, they got 22 inches of snow on the day it was cold here. And I don't even think the snow is melted up there yet. So I'm really not, for selfish reasons, I'm really not upset with my choice. I can go on a hike anytime I want. 80 degrees. I can put on a pair of shorts and a short sleeve shirt and go outside and enjoy life. If I was in Pittsburgh right now, it'd be the rivers, the Allegheny River, the Monongahela, the rivers are frozen solid right now. Like, I think you could walk across the river right now. It's so fucking cold up there. No thanks. No thanks. I would love to be near my kids, but if this is what I was forced to do, I'm going to enjoy the positive aspects of being here, even though it's not exactly what I wanted to do, but it's not all bad either. Good to see you, Mr. Williams. I'm not, what do we got here? Oh man, I lost it. Ooh, man. Let's see. I am Mandela effect. Okay, I lost the thing jumped on me. I'm not Mr. Williams. I'm Miss Williams. My apologies, Miss Williams. Another topic no one wants to talk about is the weather modification. I got into a fight with somebody about weather modification because I sent somebody was telling me I'm an idiot for believing that's real. So I sent them like news reports about weather modification and like actual news reports and videos where they talk about how they do weather modification. And once again, I'm the asshole. Sorry, I sent you the CBS News report about weather modification and how they do it, cloud seeding and all these other things that they do. But, they don't eat that's the fucked up thing, is that if you're labeled a tinfoil hat conspiracy nut job, you can't even point out something that they're actually admitting that they're doing without you being called the asshole, and the people doing the thing, they're not the asshole. It's just like Jesus. Jesus came to this earth to point out to the people the Pharisees are a bunch of hypocrites. They're a bunch of scumbags. They're perverting the word of God. Never mind the Romans. They got there's a reason why God let the Romans take over Judea. Every time the leadership of Israel moved away from God, God would let their neighbors conquer them. So it's the same thing. Jesus, what did he do? He came to heal the sick, raise people from the dead, feed 5,000 people with a couple of fish and a loaf of bread, turn water into wine. That's my favorite. Did all these great things, and what did they do? Fucking kill him. Kill him. So it's the same fucking story over and over again. You can't have nice things. That's why we can't have nice things, because you get someone who's going to do good things for us, and everybody gets together and wants to kill him. Martin Luther King, let's all get along. I have a dream. Fucking kill him. Fuck that motherfucker. Fuck that fucking dream and all. Everybody getting along. Fuck that shit. Kill him. Like, they could have just let him live, and he would have just been like Jesse Jackson, just some pundit on TV that nobody can stand listening to. But he had a dream. He wanted everybody to get along. Fuck that shit. Got to take him out. So that's the story of the fucking universe. Blue sky, nobody will explain why they are putting down chemtrails to block the sun, to put poison in the air, to make it so that as a photographer, you can never take a photo of the sunset anymore. This fucking photographer that I follow, he's like a goody two. He's like the photographer that makes Karen in the suburbs happy. He seems like a nice guy. He takes stunning photographs, but he took a photo of a sunset through the chemtrails, and he called it like something, right? And it like, he's talking about how beautiful it is and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's chemtrails, dog. Like, I wanted to leave a comment on his Instagram post. That's chemtrails, right? Yeah. I love chemtrails when I'm trying to shoot a fucking sunset. But here's the thing. I don't see chemtrails here in Houston very often at all. I don't know if it's where I live. I don't know if it's like there's a lot of rich people around me that have like, don't spray that shit over my house. I don't know. It's mostly here in Houston where I live. It's either crystal clear skies and sunny day after day after day, or it's overcast, potentially raining. If it's overcast, there's a good chance of rain, but we do get some overcast days, but I don't really see too much in between. Here, a cloudy day here and there, but I'm just saying, I notice it's bright and sunny and clear skies day after day after day. Some cloudy days here and there, and some stretches where it might be overcast for a day or two. But I don't see the chemtrails. And believe me, I would notice if I did, because I see them all the time. When I was in Danbury, Connecticut, at the federal prison there, every single day, I could look up in the sky and see the chemtrails zigzagging across the sky, spreading, because I got nothing else to do but look up at the sky and walk around on this fucking track outside in the yard, the prison yard. All I can do is look up in the sky and say, oh, those chemtrails are spreading out. The whole sky is getting fuzzy. Like, you could watch it all day. You could point up to it. Hey, look at the chemtrails today. Like, pretty much every single day. And there are other places. Pittsburgh has a lot of chemtrailing going on. Like I said, as a photographer, you travel, you schedule where you want to stop and take the sunset photos. It's like 50-50 chance, even on a clear sunny day, that you're going to get a good sunset picture, because them planes are going to come chick, 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 and they're going to ruin the sky for you. And it looks like it's just dumb. It sucks. I've broken my grocery spending limit 3 times in the last 8 months. I break my grocery spending limit every time I go to the grocery store now. If I say I'm going to spend 50 bucks, it ends up being 75. If I say I'm only going to spend 100 bucks, it ends up being 150. And not one fucking time, not one single time anymore can I get everything on my list. I prioritize my list as like must have, want to have, and would be nice to have. And must have, just getting must have off the list breaks the budget. And then I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm already overspending, so let's get a few of the next level things. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely gone from 80 bucks to 200. Yeah. But you know, Donald Trump says the economy is great right now. Prices are low, jobs are everywhere. Like, I'm so sick of that fucking dick. Like, we were talking about, I mean, this isn't really the topic yet, but we were, I was at my friend's house for the Super Bowl party last weekend, and we're sitting out in the, um, my friend's wife is from Honduras, and so most of the people at the party, because a lot of her people are here, we're the only two gringos at the Super Bowl party, me and my homie. So, not that like we all get along, like everybody, that's not it's a joke. We all joke about it. We think, everybody there was awesome. We had a really good time. Everybody's super cool. But when the halftime show came on, all the Spanish are in the house, dancing for Bad Bunny. And we're just sitting in the backyard, like shooting the shit, watching it. I was kind of pointing out, I'm like, Bad Bunny has run for more yards during the halftime show than both teams combined in the first half. Bad Bunny might end up with the MVP trophy. He took the ball further down the field than any of the players. But aside from that, me and my friend were basically predicting what would Donald Trump say about this halftime show. And sure enough, the next day, I'm screen capturing Donald Trump's fucking tweet about the Super Bowl halftime show, and it's exactly what we thought he would do. And I'm just like, I'm over that motherfucker. Get off of Twitter, you fucking piece of shit, and do your job. Get rid of, like, Pam Bond. We got an attorney general who just got in front of Congress and told everybody, we're not going to do anything about kid diddlers who are billionaires and politicians. She's like, they asked her why they haven't arrested any Epstein clients, and she turned around and said, look at the Dow, look at the NASDAQ. That's what we need to be talking about. No, bitch, we need to be talking about billionaire kid diddlers who rape kids on private islands, and you've got files on your fucking desk. Go get these motherfuckers. That's your fucking job, bitch. You're not in charge of the NASDAQ and the fucking Dow. Go get the fucking child molesters, you dumb cunt. Fuck you, man. You're going to lock somebody like me up in federal prison for 2 fucking years over a tweet, but these kid diddlers get to live their best life. Fuck you. Seriously. I can't even fucking wrap my head around that shit. It's bullshit. I've had 10 fucking people this week tell me like that it's bullshit, that they're watching this crazy shit about the Epstein files and nothing being done about it. And they know, my God, Adam, you spent 2 years in federal prison for a fucking tweet, and these child molesters are living their best life. The shit has already hit the fan. No joke, no doubt, Glenn Beedshaw. Blue Sky, C3PO was a fully golden robot. He was. He never had a silver leg. All of a sudden he does. And I know they remade Star Wars a bunch of times. I saw the remade Star Wars in the theater, then he remade them again. Like, he kept remaking them. But no, C3PO's silver leg just came out of nowhere. Adam, I watched a video where a guy purchased a site with 100,000 followers and then went and took advantage of every rich privilege allowed to the rich, and they gave it to him with no questions asked. Uh, Fake it till you make it. I mean, there's lots of, I mean, I could walk into a rich people gathering and probably just walk right in. I mean, there's a lot of places where I've done things like that where, for example, if you go into a building that has security guards and they expect visitors to go up to the desk and check in, but they don't have like the gates that control people. Like some of the buildings in downtown Pittsburgh are more secure nowadays. They have like gates that open and close, and you have to tap a card to get the thing to open. And your car, even if your card's deactivated because you lost your job, it'll just go beep 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 beep. But if you're a visitor, you got to go to the security desk and tell them who you are, give them your driver's license, blah, this and that and the other thing, and then you get a temporary card to go into the building. But if it's a building with a security desk and they don't have that kind of stuff, they expect you to go to the security desk if you're a visitor. Fuck that. I don't do that. I just walk right in like I own the place, wave to the security guards, and walk over to the fucking elevator and boop, go up. Why? Why am I going to stop at the security desk? Just act like you own that place and people will act accordingly. And it's not just things like that. There's a lot of places where I've just walked right into. I can't even think about like I walked into an AFC championship game once, just walked right in, no ticket. Granted, this was in the 1990s and it was at Three Rivers Stadium, but I just walked right in as if I belonged there and nobody fucking stopped me, and it was hilarious. I even stole a terrible towel from a drunk guy and gave it to my mom, who is a Steelers fan. I said, "Mom, this is a legit terrible towel. I took it from a terrible drunk on the 50-yard line at the AFC championship game." Granted, they lost that year. But you can walk. I mean, it's crazy what you can do if you just act like you own that shit. So yeah, the guy that took advantage and just walked into rich people places, and like Club 33 at Disney World, I could probably get in there. That exclusive rich asshole club where, the restaurant or whatever that only elites can go into. I think you need a special like ID card. They'd probably take your fingerprints and all that kind of crap. But if there's no biometrics and there's nothing to like stop you from going in, yeah, you could walk right up onto Steven Spielberg's yacht if you dress correctly and just act like you fucking know everybody there. Start shooting the shit with someone and laughing and having a good time and clinking your glasses. The next person comes over and you just act like you fucking know all these people. You just have to get a couple of people to talk to you and act like they know you, and then everybody else thinks you know everybody, and then they want to come over and know you. It's the way it works. Let's see. So it's the usual nonsense, garbage in, garbage out when it comes to digital. I've noticed it's getting difficult to even find channels honestly representing Jesus. We'll get there in a second. Glenn B. Yeah, C3PO. That was the robot. Glad that you chose Houston, Adam. My sister lived in Pittsburgh in the late 80s, and some really bad things happened to her there. I love Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, I still feel like that's my home. I have bad things happen to me in Pittsburgh here and there, but I lived there from, like I said, 1994 all the way to 2022, August 12th, 2022, when the FBI drove. And technically, I still lived in Pittsburgh, in the Butler County Jail. And, I was basically a Pittsburgher until I went to Danbury, Connecticut for my 4-month Club Fed segment of my 2-year bid. I watched 6 minutes. I didn't hear that. All I heard was she didn't have the numbers in front of her, the Volkswagen emblem. The Volkswagen emblem. It used to be connected with the V and the W. Now there's a space. Some of these things, logos change over the years. So I would want to see the history of the VW logo, because it's like the Burger King logo. You look it up. There's been like 20 different Burger King logos over the years. McDonald's logo changes. Logos change all the time. I just saw a thing today about the evolution of the MasterCard logo. It used to be called Interbank when MasterCard first came out. Then it was the Master something card, not credit card. But then it became MasterCard, and then it became just the two circles without the type, because it's such a well-known global brand. And the whole point was, as a graphic design, it's like when your company becomes so famous that you don't even have to put the name of your company next to your logo and everybody knows who it is, you've made it. Logos change all the time, but when you change a logo as a designer, you want to keep the essence of the old logo, but make it up to like modern design standards, so it looks contemporary and it fits in with what we're doing now. And so, like, I don't know, Pepsi has had some wild logo changes, but they've actually gone back. Their newest logo is more of a retro version of their original logos, but just with a modern look to it, a cleaner, modern look to it. But there's all kinds of evolution too. And when these big companies do logo changes, I saw a branding guideline. Now, branding guidelines documents are, this is common, something I deal with all the time. So like if I'm doing a website for a big company, there's going to be like a 300-page branding guidelines document that goes with that tells you every single possible thing you would ever want to know about that logo, colors, fonts, all kinds of stuff. Like the logo must have this much space surrounding it. The logo must never be this size. And then there'll be like the history of the logo, where it came from, the evolution of it. They had the Pepsi logo branding guidelines document has some wild, funny shit in it. I don't have it handy. I can't like just make it up because it's so wild and off the wall of what the logo represents and stuff like that it's actually really funny. But it's because these companies are paying an ad agency millions of dollars to redo a logo, and the agency, it's like, what are you going to do? Just redo the logo and go, here you go, here's your new logo. Like that they feel like they got to go above and beyond to justify the budget that goes into that. So they create all this bullshit to go with the logo that doesn't even really mean anything. And it literally is just a 500-page document full of bullshit with about 10 useful pages. And it's just funny because the budgets are so huge, they've got to justify their existence. So that's why they do it. PennDOT, the Department of Transportation in Pennsylvania, paid like $300,000 to redo the PennDOT logo. And the funniest thing is the agency, I know who did it. The agency, the logo was a road. Let me look it up. Why not? I'm right here. We're doing this live, but here we go. I'll find it. 10 seconds. Boom. There it is. Open image in new tab. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Now I'll hit share. Got to move this thing out of the way. All right. Here's the PennDOT logo. It's a road with a fucking pothole on it. Like the fucking brilliant designer. I know who designed this. I know the company that designed this. I don't know I don't know which designer did this. They paid $300,000 for a logo that showed a road with a pothole on it, and I fucking guarantee you they did that on purpose. I could absolutely guarantee you they did that on purpose. But with that $300,000 budget, they didn't just get a new logo. They got a whole document with a 500 pages about how to use the logo, the colors, the fonts, um, layouts for any kind of printed material, probably included like official letterhead documents, how to, different versions of the logos for different things and stuff like that. Um, Boy, there's just all kinds of stuff coming in. We could talk. I mean, I may as well do the same thing. Evolution of the Volkswagen logo. Boom, here we go. Now, this is interesting. I'm going to open this in a new tab. Get this out. Boom, boom. So, yeah, you know what? This definitely blue sky. This is right up your alley because every single version of this Volkswagen logo has the split between the V and the W. I don't remember that. Like, I actually remember it being what you said, where the V and the W are linked together without the split. Now, I don't know if that is just in my head or if that's how it always was and you just never noticed that. But it is a Mandela effect. Now it's in my head. I'm like, damn. Because I would have to go into Photoshop and fudge one of these to see if it jogs my memory to like if it really was unified and without the line splitting the V and the W together. My Ford emblem changed one day on my Ford van. Didn't have the curly bit on the F, but now it does. Evolution of the Ford logo. Because every one of these, I mean, it doesn't take long. You just pop one of these up. These are the Ford logos, evolution over time. The curly bit on the F. I always remembered the curly bit on the F with the Ford logo, but 1965, and I remember it like this, like 76 to 2003. I mean, that's my lifetime. This is the Ford logo that I would picture if I had to picture it. And, the newer one. See, what happens is in the 90s, everything had beveled edges and three-dimensionality to it and looked like a 3D bubble and looked like it was a thing. And now everybody wants to go to the flat style. Everything's because this one ends in 2007. So if I went and looked, for anything further ahead than that, everything's moving to, what you see today, flat, solid colors. You don't see three-dimensionality or shading or anything like that on modern stuff. And it's just a design choice. A lot of it has to do with the fact that we use phones and everything has to be an icon and everything has to, I don't know. It creates a more unified look when you're looking at stuff on small screens. There are reasons for it aside from it's just what everybody's doing now. But if I were to design something for people of this day and age, I would kind of have to follow the trend or people are gonna, it's gonna look dated if I don't keep up with the current trends of things. What else do we got? It's not a marketing adjustment. I've looked into the Ford emblem and that's not true. I was just choked to that man was jumping on the roof of a classic Ford pickup. Ford emblem was Henry Ford's signature. His signature didn't have the loop on the F. I always remember the loop on the F. Like I remember because that stood out to me when I was a kid because I'm a graphic designer, so I pay attention to certain things. That one, I always remember that being there. But it's like C-3PO's silver leg. It just shows up. And they gaslight you and tell you it was always like that. And you're like, no, it wasn't. How come when I bought the C-3PO toy when I was a kid, he didn't have a silver leg? Like I just like, what if I went back to like my Star Wars toy collection from a kid, and all of a sudden C3PO has a silver leg because the CERN, the particle accelerator, the CERN project time warped us into a different dimension where all of a sudden C3PO has a silver leg, and everybody's toys changed as a result because we're in a different timeline. Um, Chevrolet blacked out the bow tie on some of their black edition trucks. It's not because it's a Mandela effect. I mean, I don't believe in every Mandela effect, but I've seen enough that like I'm like, yo, it is. Some of them it makes me wonder if I'm just remembering things wrong. But um some of them do get me, and I'm like, no, I definitely remember that. But then other ones don't resonate with me because sometimes we collectively remember things wrong, like lines from movies and stuff like that, where we all swear it was this. And I'm talking about Darth Vader. I think everybody quotes it as Luke, I am your father, but the line actually is no, I am your father. And I'm leaning towards people collectively remember it wrong because there's a lot of quotes from movies my whole life that people quote wrong collectively, but when you actually watch the movie, it's different. And I don't believe it's a Mandela effect. I just believe it's like people just started quoting it wrong and people latched on to the misquote and quoted as if it's the real quote. I'm not arguing. Adam, you went to art. Check out the thinker statue. What am I looking for with the thinker statue? You went to art school. Look at the thinker statue. All right. Huh. Look, I'll share my screen since we're talking about this. What am I looking at with the thinker statue? It does. I think I know what we're talking about here. Like if I'm just going by my gut instinct, I feel like I remember it. Like I don't remember his fist covering up his mouth. If that's what I'm supposed to notice. Like I don't remember because I don't. This isn't something I've looked into a lot. But let's see here. But I would remember the thinker statue. I don't remember the guy's. It just don't look. I thought it was like his fist would be under his chin and he's resting his head. I didn't think he was making like a handicap symbol. I didn't think he was making a handicapped hand with covering his mouth up with it. It definitely doesn't look like I would remember it. So maybe that's a Mandela effect right there. Like that just looks weird to me. Is this so am I on it? Just look at it. That's what I mean. Like look at his hand. He's making the same kind of hand that I would make if I was making fun of handicapped people. I'm like, right? And then he's like this. Who the fuck is in deep thought sitting there going, like that? No, you'd be like that. That just don't look right to me. Like I don't remember it being like that. Huh. So I don't know. That's my thought on it. Maybe I don't know if I'm seeing if I'm why don't you look at the pictures of the Bonnie and Clyde car? Why would Let's look at the pictures of the Bonnie and Clyde car all shot up. What am I supposed to see here? Is it what am I supposed to see? Does it have a windshield? It shouldn't have a windshield. Not if it got, I mean, why are all the bullet holes on the side? Didn't they get shot from the front? I don't know, man. We're having fun here. I really don't know what I'm supposed to look for with the Bonnie and Clyde car, but I thought they were shot from the front. Why are all the bullet holes in the side? I don't know. So feel free to jump into the chat and tell me what I'm supposed to be looking at here. But anyway, like, yeah, we could talk about Mandela effect all day long, and Mona Lisa. Let's check out the Mona Lisa. Yeah, I think, isn't it like she's smirking, like she wasn't smiling or smirking or something, like her face is different now. There's a lot of weird stuff about the Mona Lisa aside from the Mandela effect that now it doesn't really like make a whole lot of sense. Here's a good picture of it. There is like a theory, but when you look at her fingers, that doesn't look natural. But what I'm getting at is that there's like this whole theory of sorts that this isn't a painting, that it, because you can't see his, like they've tried to find his brush strokes in the painting and they can't find any like evidence that he even used a paintbrush. Like there's no, like they can't see the brush strokes. And like that he did such a good job with blending that like there's no evidence in the whole painting that he even used a paintbrush at all. That's what I'm getting at. Like that's the short version of it. And there's like speculation, did Leonardo figure out a way to take photograph? Did he find a way to like take a photograph? Because all it would have really taken was some sort of emulsion, light sensitive emulsion on a canvas, painted on, splattered on or covered up. And you can make a camera from a hole in the wall. It's called a pinhole camera. You might have made a pinhole camera with a what Quaker Oats oatmeal can when you were a kid, to take pictures with a tiny little pinhole camera. And so it's like that concept. There's this whole like theory. You can look this up. I'm giving you everything you need if you want to go look at this up yourself. But there is this theory that the Mona Lisa is an actual photograph of this chick. But when I look at it, just from like, it doesn't look like a person. It actually looks like a painting. You look at the fingers, they don't look like a photograph. You look at her face, you look at certain features. It looks like someone painted this. But it's an interesting theory. But yeah, that's what they said. Yeah, that's what you were saying, Blue Sky. Like she's got like a smirk, but she used to have like a serious face. So I don't know she's a Mandela effect. She might be the world's oldest photograph. Like but Leonardo, man, he was a nut job. He could have definitely invented a camera back then. So I wouldn't put it. And I mean, as a pinhole camera, I don't know. I mean, to me, it looks like a painting. It just looks like somebody who really knows what the fuck they're doing. Rembrandt. You can look at a Rembrandt painting up close and you don't see brush strokes. He was a master of blends and lighting. Um, I've seen a few Rembrandt paintings up close. I know I've been to a few museums that have them. None of the big ones, best ones, but I've seen them. I don't know. They used different stuff back then, different pigments. I mean, they used to have to make paint using egg whites and having to mix their own pigments and stuff. Like it wasn't like you could just go to Pat Catan's or Michael's and buy some paint, come home and paint. There was a lot of work to it. So, certain types, he may have just had really good paint that he made himself that you could take forever to blend. And if you use a super, super soft hair brush and you just work at it, you could probably just make that blend. I have ways of making pencil drawings using blending stumps and other techniques that look like black and white photographs, and you don't see any pencil marks in my pencil art. Um, and I haven't done this for years, but I used to do them on marker paper because the graphite would slide. And if you used a blending stump with a pencil and you used a soft enough lead, no harder than a 2H, but mostly like a 0 down to a 6B, I might draw the drawing with a 2H, or even something sharper than that, harder than that. But every time I would blend something, I'd do the blending with a pencil, but then I would take a blending stump and smooth it out. And I did this kind of meticulously, and then I would keep blending stumps that were covered in graphite. And so I figured out how to make pencil art that looked like black and white photographs, and I could still do that to this day. It's like you don't really forget, but I'm not really much of a hand drawn artist guy anymore. I don't really want to do that. I did see something amazing at when I was in where is Yale? I- My mind is in New Haven. I was at a train station in New Haven, Connecticut, and there was let's just see if I can find it. This guy had this thing. Is it this? Yes. This is what it was. I wish you could see the whole thing. Yeah, this guy, this artist in New Haven, Connecticut, in the train station, has these gigantic pencil drawings. Like, okay, oh my God, I wish you could see them. So, okay, so yeah, look at this woman and look at the size of that New York City image, the overhead aerial shot of Manhattan. When you're standing in front of that thing, you can see all the little cars in the street on that drawing that you're looking at. And he blends it the same way I would. So it looks like a black and white photograph. Okay, Creco. Oh, let's just see if I can find some of these because these are stunning, stunning art. I was blown away. Like this is a detail of his paintings. Okay, yeah. Oh my God, I would love to own. I would love to hang one of these on my wall. These things are huge. And I'm telling you, you can see every little window in these buildings. I mean, this is not doing it justice. This is like these are some of the most amazing fucking drawings I've ever seen in my life that this guy did. Um, but he used the same blending techniques that I've used. He must have done something to get the water pure black like that. He must use like some ink along with this because there's no pencil that can be that dark. But um, yeah, these things are freaking outrageously detailed. But you'd have to see it in person. Um, yeah, here's a detail. from that. So, like, look at this building, this tiny little building here behind the Statue of Liberty. You see all the little details, all the windows. Here's some people. Here's all the trees. You can see the branches and the leaves on the trees and blah, blah, blah. And when you look at, but that's just part of this. That's just that bottom little corner that you're looking at. So multiply that level of detail across this whole, like, here's one. And you're looking at low resolution images of this. Look at the detail in these buildings. Look at that. All the windows. How in the fuck did look at the MetLife building? Look at all the Chrysler building. Look at all the detail. I mean, you can tell it's pencil art. It's not photographically correct. Look at the detail in the bridge there going across the river. Look at the details in the bridges in the background. Look at the details. And this is a low resolution JPEG of this guy's art, Central Park. Like, if I'm telling you, when you're looking at this thing one-on-one in person, whether it's, I don't think I was looking at the original, but when you're looking at it the size of a wall, a print of this guy's work, the size of a wall, when you look at these little buildings on the back row of Central Park, which is, when you look at the entire, you're looking at that. You know, when that little bit of, you will see so much incredible detail in that part of this drawing. It will blow your fucking mind. I can't even imagine it would take, I don't even know how long the fuck something like that would take. For me, that would be like 10 years. I feel like that would take me 10 years to draw something like that with that level of detail. That level of detail. I mean, like, you can zoom into the shit in the back here, in the back of the Manhattan Island, and see all kinds of crazy detail in there. Mind-blowing stuff. Yeah, this guy's no joke. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm bookmarking this guy. This guy's, yeah, his name is Key. I'm gonna put this in the chat. Go check out this guy's work. That was one of the most, like, I was blown away. That was my first day out of prison, and I got stranded in Bridgeport, Connecticut. But during my ride to get from Bridgeport to home, I ended up having to go to New Haven, and I'm in the train station, and this guy's art was everywhere. But all of these prints that I'm scrolling through right now were the size of a wall. I'm talking like 10 feet tall in some cases, and just mind-blowing stuff. This guy is fucking awesome. So we're looking for the Ford emblem on the Bonnie and Clyde car, one that doesn't have a bullet hole in it. All right, let's see. Let's take a look. So that's why the live stream is fun, because this was not on my bingo card to be looking through photos of the Bonnie and Clyde car for where would the Ford logo be? Maybe there's a reason we can't find that in any of these photographs here. What's this? But keep in mind that logos change all the time. Companies change their logos constantly. So there could be versions of it without the little curly thing on the F. Like, I just know from experience how many times PNC Bank's logo has changed over the years. Dozens. In fact, when I was working for them, they had a master file for the logo for all their web properties and stuff, and I pointed out that it wasn't round because it's supposed to be a circle. And I'm like, that's not a circle. Like, my just spidey sense was off. So I went and actually measured it, and somebody squished it just by a couple of pixels, but it wasn't a circle anymore. Like, somebody took a version of it, saved it. But all of the websites and all of their digital properties had this version of the logo that wasn't a circle. And I pointed that out to them, and they were like, holy shit. Like, they were like, how the hell did you even notice that? But I'm like, that's just my job. It just, something told me it was wrong. And they started to fix it across the board. But I was like, because they wanted me to use this logo in all the mock ups. And I'm like, that logo's wrong. I'm like, look at it. It's not. So I went into the original, like the actual logo file, the original version of it, which was round. And I had to re-export everything and kind of make it so that it was suitable for all of our web properties, all the PNG versions and all the different versions of SVG, PNG, and all that stuff for all of our digital properties. But I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing where the like Ford logo would be on the car. But anyway, I'm like, that's a rabbit hole. We could do that. We could do this another day. Since Blue Sky's in the house, um, might as well jump into this one before I get into like the main topic. The main topic really won't take a ton of time. I know we're like an hour, 20 minutes in, but you know, this is how it is, especially when it's a small crowd. It's kind of like the members only stream, except anybody can join. But as soon as we talk about anything real, only the OGs stick around. So that's, you know, whatever. But I did jump. I wasn't even going to do this, but I knew Blue Sky would be here, and this is like one of your favorite things. So I did jump into the Jesus Calling book today. I had a wild day, and this lines up with my day. February 11th. My peace is like a shaft of golden light shining on you continuously. During days of bright sunshine, it may blend in with your surroundings. On darker days, my peace stands out in sharp contrast to your circumstances. See times of darkness as opportunities for my light to shine in transcendent splendor. I am training you to practice peace that overpowers darkness. Collaborate with me in this training. Do not grow weary and lose heart. I had something happen to me today that kind of fit. I mean, this really spoke to me today. Maybe not for the reasons that you think, but you'll understand as I go through this. So the part that stood out to me: on darker days, my peace stands out in sharp contrast to your circumstances. So like when everything's going well, you know, we don't pay as much attention to God when everything's going well. It's kind of like, I got this, dude. I got this. I'm only going to pray when things are going wrong and I need your help. You know, that's how we all act. I'm guilty of that. I'm more conscious of it nowadays. I'm grateful for so many things now, and you know, going through the hell that I went through, I'm grateful for so many things that most people take for granted, that I thank God for them all the time. I thank God for my car every time I get in and turn the key. Like straight up, I'm like, it is profound, because you know, most people just take it for granted that they have a car. I don't. I look at my bicycles when I'm leaving the house. I'm holding a pair of keys in my hand. I go out to the car. I'm like, man, I'm so grateful for this car, especially on the days where I really don't want to ride my bike or want to go to the grocery store or do normal people things. But on darker days, God's peace will stand out in sharp contrast. When things are going bad, that light definitely shines in the dark. And then he says, this is the part that relates to me today. See times of darkness as opportunities for my light to shine in transcendent splendor. So I had an incident today that pissed me off. As a lot of you, the OGs, as you know, I had to go down to the federal probation office in Houston, had to go downtown and pee in a cup and talk to my new probation officer and this and that and the other thing. And when the old probation officer came in December, he told me he was putting me on the lowest threat level, like basically as hands off as they can be with me until the thing, till the clock runs out and I'm free. And he said, you're going to have a new officer who handles these caseloads. Chances are you're never going to hear from us again unless you fuck up. And so I got a call, a couple of weeks ago. It was the new probation officer. We talked. She asked me, she's like, I need you to come and take a drug test because it's been over a year. So I had to go down there and do that. And in order to do that, like when you got I don't know about anybody else, but I think it's weird that if you don't have this problem, like, sorry, but I can't take a piss on command when someone's like, all right, I'm looking at your cock. Whip it out so I can see that thing. All right, pee. Come on, pee right now. It's like that fucking dude from Full Metal Jacket. You pee in that cup when I tell you to pee. Like, I can't do that shit. So in order for me, like, got some fucking weirdo staring at my cock while I'm trying to take a piss, yelling at me and all this other shit, saying you'll go back to fucking prison if you can't pee on command, blah, blah, blah. Fuck. Good luck. Here, just put the fucking cuffs on already, because it ain't gonna happen. In Buffalo, New York, oh my God, the day I got out of prison, I walked into this room. It was like a plastic bubble. All the walls and everything. It looked like I was in some weird ass futuristic dystopian bio lab from what's the movie? I, Robot is the look and feel it had. And it was just surrounded by mad scientists and white lab coats, and I'm supposed to whip out my dick and pee in front of all these people in this plastic cube of a room with a toilet in the middle of it. And I'm just like, yeah, fuck, dude, just take me back now. Just take me back, put me back on the fucking bus and send me back to Danbury, because this ain't fucking happening. So in order for that to happen, I had to drink so much water just to be able to pee for these fucking people, that my water was like crystal clear. You could have drank it. It would have been like crystal clear tap water. I could have put it in a fucking bottle and put a Dasani or a Dasani logo on it and put it in a fridge, and someone would have been like, oh my God, it's the best. Like, that's how crystal clear it was. So anyway, I go down to Houston and I'm drinking water as I'm going down there, and I had to pee pretty bad when I got there. And I had no problem with it. At least in the place down there in Houston, there's a guy watching you, but you're behind like a two-way mirror. So you actually feel like you're in a bathroom and you look over and it's just a mirror. And so it kind of psychologically, it's a little bit easier to deal with. I think that's actually not a bad idea. Like, in terms of, because I'm not the only one who can't pee with some weirdo staring at your dick. Like, I just don't fucking even understand, like, why that, like, how it. Anyway, there's more to the story here. So I get home. I mean, I peed and everything seemed fine. And I'm like, there was color to it and everything. And I'm like, okay, I didn't drink too much water, but I had to pee, anytime I have to do this shit, it ruins my whole fucking day. Because the whole rest of the day, I have to pee every 10 minutes. And so yesterday, Tuesday? What day is today? Wednesday. Yeah, yesterday afternoon, I get a text from my probation officer. She's like, your drug test came back diluted, too much water. Are you going to be home tomorrow at noon? And I'm like, motherfuck. Now she's got to come over here because I didn't fail a drug test, but it was too watered down. So it's like this magic formula you have to fucking come up with. Like, if you don't drink enough water, you won't be able to pee with some weirdo looking at your dick and screaming at you for 20 minutes. But if you drink too much water, then you're going to get in trouble for drinking too much water. So you got to come up with this magic formula of exactly how much water to drink and all this other bullshit. And it's fucking retarded. There's got to be another way they can fucking test. And I know there are, but anyway, she goes, I'm going to come over at noon tomorrow. Yay. Totally fucking ruined my day. I couldn't go to the gym last night because of it. My place was a bit of a mess. It was just, I had a lot of stuff going on here in my house, a lot of clutter. And I don't want those people coming over when my house is cluttered. And, I got dirty dishes and other shit going on. And I'm like, fuck. So, in order for me to fix that, I couldn't go to the gym last night. So, I had to throw that out. And then I have this fucking anxiety all night about, having to make. So, this morning, I wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and I don't pee. Because now my pee has to be perfect. It can't be too dark. It can't be too light. It's like it's like piss Goldilocks. Like Goldilocks comes in and she's like, oh, his piss is too yellow. His piss is too clear. Oh, his pee is just right. Like, that's what it's like. You got to piss for Goldilocks and she's going to tell you whether it's just right or not. And so, anyway, so I wake up at 8 a.m. and I'm like, the only way I'm going to be able to do this with some fucking weird dude staring at me is to fucking hold my pee all day. So she said she's coming at noon. 4 fucking hours, first of the morning pee. I just don't pee for the whole fucking time. And I'm just like, I'm fucking hurting by noon. Then I get a text from her at noon. She's like, I'm running late. I'm not going to be there until 1:30. I'm like, oh my fucking God. But if I go piss, then I'm not going to be able to piss when they come. And then I'm going to drink water to make myself pee. And then it's going to be too watery. And then I'm going to get in trouble for that. So what the fuck? So anyway, so now I'm like 8 in the morning, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 30, 5.5 hours of holding my first piss of the day in, waiting for them to come. And she's still running a little bit late. So now she's like 15 minutes late. And I'm like, come the fuck on. But in the meantime, it was kind of a blessing in disguise because last night I didn't go to the gym. I just buckled down. I started doing chores around the house. I did all the dishes. I cleaned a bunch of stuff that had been neglected for a while, did a bunch of chores that hadn't been done in a while, vacuum, things like that, just started up with all that stuff. But I took a lackadaisical pace. I wasn't like stressing out about it. I wasn't like pushing myself. I took a break. I took a nap. I went to bed. I slept for like 2 hours, maybe 2-3 hours. Woke up, did like 2 more hours of cleaning and went back to bed. I've got weird sleep habits lately. And then this morning at 8 o'clock, to keep my mind off of holding in my pee all day, I just kept going. I cleaned I deep cleaned the bathroom here. I did more, I made the bed, obviously. I cleaned a lot of stuff that had been like put off for a while. I didn't mop the floors, but I definitely got to it. And there were a few things that were like just piles of papers and stuff. I just kind of grabbed them and threw them in a drawer and just out of sight, out of mind. Did some of that kind of stuff. But by the time the probation officer came, I'm looking around and I'm like, damn, my place looks pretty damn nice right now. It's nice and clean and tidy. And it actually makes me feel good to look around and see all the stuff organized and clean again, because that's how I like it to be. But I'm not kidding when I tell you, overall, I tracked my time. I spent 10 hours cleaning and organizing and tidying things up and cleaning things that have been neglected for a while and this and that and the other thing. So this wasn't like a small thing, but I had a list of shit I need to do for clients today. Made like I'm behind on shit. And I'm like, when she told me she's coming tomorrow at noon, I'm like, there goes my whole fucking day. I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't do anything. I had to kind of focus in on, I don't want my place to look like trash when a probation officer comes over, because if my place looks tidy and clean and presentable and nice and like I got my shit together, then that's just another reason for them to leave me the fuck alone. So I'm going to put in the time to do it. I mean, I treat it just the same as if some hot chick decided she wanted to come over and hang out. Fuck, I'm going to have to cancel everything I'm doing and go clean this house, because obviously I don't want a girl coming over where there's, bunch of fucking disgusting shit and just clutter everywhere. Um, but I've been neglected going all the way back to like December. So we're like 2, 3 months of my life was so busy that I'm just neglecting these things and pushing them off and pushing them off. And so things just got out of control. And like I said, I spent 10 hours between yesterday and today cleaning and organizing. So this wasn't like a small task. This wasn't like, oh, spend an hour here, spend an hour there. That would be like 3 months of spending an hour here and there. So I had to just shut down everything and redo all this stuff or just focus in and do all this stuff. And I had to cancel the gym, had to pretty much shove everything off of my plate that I had to do for work today just to accommodate this visit. And then I put in like an hour and a half on a client. And then I got ready to do the live stream today. And so I wasn't going to cancel that. That's part of my commitment to do this every week. So it's the way it was. So when they used to come over to my house, they would come in pairs. They would always have like a backup partner. But the last time the PO came to my house, he was by himself. And I noticed that. That was the first time they had ever come to my house alone. And so I'm like, huh. Well, anyway, today, so the probation officer comes over today, and it's a woman now. And she comes in the front door and she just hangs out in the kitchen and she's talking to me for a couple of minutes and she hands me the cup. She's like, here, go fill this up. There's like a snap top lid for it that they got to take it. They send these things out to a lab. And so I'm like, she was by herself. So no, she didn't follow me back to the bathroom. And my bathroom's on the opposite end of the house. I shut the door. I'm in there, it's private me time. I didn't have to hold my pee all day. I probably could have just let one rip. Well, I wouldn't, if I'm by myself in the bathroom, I can just, probably squeeze one out. But, yeah, that's how it was. She was just like, here, go take this to the bathroom, fill it up, bring it back to me. And so I brought it back to her. She puts on, she had gloves on. She puts it in a bag, seals it up, all that. And she goes, oh, dude, don't worry about it. That happens all the time. Like she goes, it was diluted. She's like, you must have drank too much water or whatever. She's like, don't even worry about it. She's like, we deal with this shit all the time. She's like, she kind of like rolled her eyes and she was like, I just got to fucking do this to cross it off my paperwork. That's the vibe I got. And she's like, you want to, because they always come over and they want to like walk around. They don't dig into your stuff. They don't go opening boxes and things. Like they just look around and see your place. She was like, I was like, you need to do anything else? She's like, no, I'm good. She's like, the last time your PO was here, he did a home inspection. She's like, I don't need to. She's like, I'm just leaving. See ya. So she came in the kitchen. She stood there, gave me the cup. I went over to the bathroom, was by myself, did my thing, gave it back to her. I mean, I could have had like a whole fucking fake pee laboratory in the bathroom and she, you know what I mean? Like, not that I would, but like, she was here and gone. And now I'm hoping, because my former probation officer said that when I get the new one and I'm on the lowest threat level they have to offer, I should never hear from them again. But because, she's a new officer or whatever, she's probably got a bunch of bullshit to put in her paperwork that she did her job. She did her due diligence. She went and visited his house. She knows where he lives, this and that and the other thing. I'm hoping that after this day, I don't see them again. In 2025, they came to visit me in February because if you move to a new place, they have to come and look at your place by law. So when I moved in February, they came and looked at my place and they made me take a drug test. When I moved in June, they came and looked at my place and they were in and out in like 2 minutes, talked to me for a few minutes. They're like, all right, we're out. Never saw or heard from them again. No drug test. Then December, he stopped right before Christmas because he was like, he's like, I'm trying. I could tell from what he said to me, I'm got a pile of paperwork on my desk and I'm just trying to. He's like, I noticed that I haven't seen you in a while. He came in the front door. He hung out for like 2 minutes. He's like, can I just walk to the back and back up front to say I did it? I'm like, yeah. And he asked me about my third world washing machine in the bathroom. He's like, what the hell is this thing? And I'm like, I explained how it's a washing machine. He's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I explained to him, you put it in the bathtub and whatnot. So he was a cool dude. He left. He's like, you won't ever see me again. And, he's like, good luck. So I'm hoping that this situation goes the fuck away. In the meantime, I'm sick of dealing with this shit. So I went and did some more research about what I have to do to file a motion to get my probation dropped. And it might cost me like $2,000 to have a lawyer do it. And I would have a 30 to 40% chance of being successful. That's not worth it to me. I don't have that much money to throw at, I think I'd have a better chance of throwing $2,000 on a craps table in Las Vegas and walking away with more money than I put down than I would throwing it at a fucking lawyer for some federal bullshit. But Grok wrote me a pro se motion. He gave me a template. I can basically go back and forth. I am going to literally have an AI bot generate, because why? Fuck it. Why not? The worst they can say is no. So in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have Grok draft a pro se, pro se means that you're representing yourself without a lawyer. So I'm going to have Grok draft a pro se motion to have my probation dropped and send it to the court in Pennsylvania for the cost of a fucking stamp. And if I can file it electronically, even better, but I don't think I can, or I don't know. I mean, fine, postage stamp, send it off. From what I understand, the judge will get it, and then the judge has to give the prosecutor like up to like 2 months to figure out what if they want to oppose. So they'll probably put something together. I'm the worst criminal who ever lived. I should be spending the rest of my life in prison. I got off lucky, blah, 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 because a mean tweet. It should be a life sentence, while a fucking billionaire pedophile who rapes kids on a private island shouldn't even have to have probation. They'll probably come up with some bullshit to argue against it. And then the judge will have to make up his mind. And then he'll rule on it, and then I'll get some sort of ruling in the mail. My last probation officer said he wouldn't even oppose it. He would have no opposition to it. I don't see why this one would. She seems even friendlier than him, to be honest. So yeah, I'm going to have a fucking robot draft me a court motion and see if I can get Grok to get this shit dropped. And if it works, so be it. If it doesn't, I can try again in like 6 months. So, I mean, if it doesn't cost me anything other than, why not be a fucking dick? I should have done this when I hit a year. But the reason why I didn't is because I'm busy all the time. They really haven't been bothering me. And the restrictions that I'm under don't really bother me either. But I wouldn't mind having to not take a drug test ever again. That's the motivator more than anything. And I would like to just be able to, if I want to drive up to fucking Pittsburgh to see my kids, I would like to just do that without permission. So now that, spring is coming, it would be nice if I would say within the next 2 weeks, I'm going to put a document together. I'm going to print it on my printer, put it in a fucking envelope, send it to the court, pro se, boom, motion denied or motion granted. And if it's granted, booyah. I've already got the connections that I need in Houston to make things all right. people like me, we can smell our own kind. It don't take more than about 2 minutes after you meet somebody. And it's just kind of like, I always call it weed magic. Like if you go to an area where you don't know anybody, weed magic always just puts you in touch with the right people at the right time, and you never actually have to look for. All I'm saying is, back in Pittsburgh, weed magic always came through. Like I would have somebody who was my regular person, and then that person would be like, "Yeah, I don't have any, or I'm not doing that anymore," and blah blah blah. And I'd be like, "Oh crap, what am I gonna do?" And somebody else is like, "Hey, you need some." Like somebody else would just fit right into the slot without me even having to look. Weed magic would just, somebody else would show up, and I wouldn't skip a beat. Be like, "Oh yeah, this is what I need. This is how frequent," and blah blah blah, and boom, problem solved. I would get all worried for nothing. But now in New York State, you can go to the fucking weed store. I've never. That was an experience for me. Let me tell you, going to a weed store where there's just jars on a fucking shelf, 30 fucking jars, and holy shit! Like, I get a choice. I get to pick which one I want, not just it's the one. Or if you know two different people that sell it, well, that's the shit this guy has, and that's the shit this guy has, and whatever. But no, you go into a weed store and just see a fucking shelf like you're at a bar. Just boom, like, what the fuck is this? That was a mind-blowing experience the first time that happened to me. But yeah, I mean, if I had to go to fucking New York State with a few $100, I would not have to worry about going back to New York State for like a year. So it'd be fine. But either way, I would love to get this shit crossed off my fucking bucket. Not just for that reason, but I'm just sick of being harassed. Like, I think 2 years in fucking prison for a tweet. I think I've paid my debt to society. Like, I'm just, call me a fucking asshole, say I don't, blah blah blah, you don't accept responsibility for your crimes. Not when there's billionaire child rapers walking around living their fucking best life and we have an attorney general saying that's just fine. We're not going to do anything about that. So yeah, I did pay my debt. My debt is fucking paid. So now I'm paying like extra that I don't think I need to be paying anymore. So, but anyway. Yeah, I mean, Texas is Law and Order Texas. They're like, I would like to be, I mean, I don't know where I want to live, to be honest, but I don't like police states. And I feel like Texas is a police state. Georgia, it's a lot like Georgia and Virginia, I think, here, but maybe not as bad as those two states. But like, when Republicans are in charge, they fuck shit up just as bad as the Democrats. They just do different things. So like in Minnesota, you got all the problems that you get from Democrat rule going all the way. Minnesota is the only state that didn't vote for Ronald Reagan in his second election. Ronald Reagan won 49 states. Minnesota was the only state that didn't vote for Ronald Reagan. And look at where Minnesota is now. So they have a particular set of problems that the rest of the states don't have. But Texas and these Republican hillbilly states are shitty too. I can't go to Florida anymore because I have a felony. If I want to just visit Florida for a day, I got to go to a sheriff's office and register like I'm a fucking sex offender and give them my fingerprints and photographs and spend half the fucking day filling out forms and papers and explaining what a piece of shit I am and blah, blah, blah. And basically having to wear a yellow star on my fucking sleeve like I'm a Jew in Nazi Germany. And nope. fuck Florida. I'm done. I don't need to go to the beach that bad. I'll find a different fucking beach. So it's just New York has its own shit. New York is just a bunch of liberal retards running around doing liberal blue hair shit. It was terrible during 2020 to go to New York. Pennsylvania is way better than New York. I don't really have any beef with PA, to be honest. Like, I can't say that I'm opposed to going. I don't know. Everything's up in the air. I'm just going whatever God wants me to do at this point. Let's see. So, anyway, why not do the topic of today's show? Because we were talking about, I was talking about bread and circus and how the only thing people in America care about are beer and football. And, so, beer and football, right? And so, yeah, last weekend is the epitome of beer and football, bread and circus, as they used to call it back in ancient Rome, the gladiatorial games. But instead of watching lions eat people and gladiators kill each other, we just watch grown men wearing pads, beat up each other a little bit while they throw balls around. And we call it the Super Bowl. But because it's a distraction, it's not all the sports ball shit that you see, the Olympics, all this stuff it's the exact same thing that the Roman emperors did. Give the people, give the peasants bread and circus, give them something to occupy their time, give them something to argue about with each other, and then we can keep on raping kids and doing what we do, and they'll just leave us the fuck alone. Because in reality, there are very few of us. There's only a handful of us, elites. But there's millions of these fucking peasants. And if these dumb idiots ever wake up, they're going to kill us. They're going to kill us. So we got to give these people something to do. And it's the same thing in America right now. You got a couple thousand people in charge, but you got 350 million of us dumbass peasants. So if the peasants were to just get mad one day, they'd just rise up and kill all the people in charge. That's what we celebrate on the 4th of July, right? That people finally got fed up with the way they were being treated by the British. So what do? Killed them. And get the fuck out. And if you don't want to leave, we're going to kill you. And that's what we celebrate on the 4th of July. Maybe I can go to fucking prison. Maybe I can go back to prison for saying that, but it's facts. So, bread and circus, and the Super Bowl is the biggest bread and circus of them all. I don't give a shit about sports ball, and I went to a Super Bowl party last weekend. Not giving a crap. I wore a Pittsburgh Steelers shirt. And it's kind of cool that the Pittsburgh Steelers actually won last weekend because, and you say, how is that? Well, New England was so bad that they're still tied for first place with Pittsburgh Steelers with the number of Super Bowl trophies in their collection. Each team has 6. So I didn't want to see New England win, but my friend and his wife, they lived in Boston before they moved here, so they were rooting for New England. I'm like, nah, I'm not on your team tonight, honey. But, I had fun with it. I still watched the game. I was just there for the friendship and the camaraderie and the companionship and just to get out and do something. But my best friend who I was living with for a while, he's just as awake as I am. Like he was the one that I used to do a podcast with back in the day. So we're both like, we don't agree on every single thing, but we both know that when we're watching the Super Bowl, it's like an inside joke. The elites, the the people that give us the bread and circus so that they can go rape kids and get away with it while we're paying attention to this dumbass shit, it's an inside joke to them, because when the elites watch this game, it's not the Super Bowl. What you're supposed to do is take the B, slide it over, and you're actually watching what's called the superb owl. And why? What the hell does an owl have to do with the Super Bowl? Well, there's a reason why they call it the superb owl. So it doesn't start here, but one of the clubs, the secret societies that these scumbags belong to, is out in California. And it's called the Bohemian Club. And they've got a building in San Francisco where they all meet and get together and do their shit. But they also have this retreat, this wooded area up near Sausalito, north of San Francisco in the Redwood Forest, where they get together every summer and do some weird shit. And none of us fucking peasants are allowed to be anywhere near it. In fact, they'll have the Secret Service there. They'll have the military practically there blocking off any possible way that you could get anywhere near this thing, so that these rich scumbags can all get together and do weird shit every summer. And if you notice, their logo is an owl for the Bohemian Club. There's a reason why they use an owl on all of their literature, all of their logos, and everything else. So this would be the emblem for one of the years for their midsummer camp. 1966, this one was. But it's a secret. They all get together. All these elite scumbags, these rich assholes, they get together at this place in the middle of the fucking woods, and they do this every year. And they've been doing it for a couple hundred years. And they basically gather around this big owl statue that they set up in the middle of the woods. There it is. And then they have these they get all dressed up in robes like they're in the Ku Klux Klan and all these weird ass costumes and shit. And they basically pretend to have human sacrifice rituals in the middle of the summer. So, here's one of them. They basically put a baby on an altar and then they burn it to death. And, who knows? I mean, have you looked at one of the shit that's in the Epstein files? So it's supposed to be a pretend human sacrifice, but it's a secret fucking gathering of all these elite scumbags. And it's all the same people that go to Epstein Island. But this is, they're basically just on a circuit every year. Let's go fuck some kids on Epstein Island. We'll sacrifice a few babies in the woods of California. Then we'll go to the Bilderberg meeting, wherever that's going to be held. And it's a circuit. They just kind of bounce around. It's kind of like Taylor Swift taking a private jet everywhere she goes. Like, I'm bored. I'm going to go. I'm in Florida, but I want a frozen hot chocolate at Serendipity. So let's take my private jet to New York City, take a limo. We'll go eat at Serendipity. Then we'll get back on my jet and fly home because we're bored. They just, all the same fucking, and in between raping the kids on the island and burning the babies in the woods and, going to the Bilderberg meeting and all this shit. They're taking their private jet to the climate change conference so that they can tell all of us peasants to stop driving cars while they just burned more fuel and spewed more shit into the atmosphere with their private jet that they took to get to the climate change conference than 100 of our cars would burn up in a year. But that's what they do. They get together. Let's burn a couple of babies in front of this giant owl statue. And it's not like, I don't know if you... And the thing is that these Hollywood people, these elites, they rub it in your fucking face, and they've been doing it for years. They tell you over and over and over again what they're up to, but they use Hollywood to disguise it as so-called fiction. So you might remember a movie called Dragnet back in the day with Dan Aykroyd and Tom Hanks. And shit, if you know anything about Tom Hanks these days, there's a reason why he was cast for this movie. But in the movie, There's a secret gathering in the middle of the woods of California where all these elites get together and they take a fucking virgin and they sacrifice her to a giant snake in a pit while they're wearing goat leggings on their legs and dancing around. And so they basically showed you in a movie what these motherfuckers actually do. They're telling you, like, this is what we're like. They put it right out there for you. It's no different than what you're seeing in these pictures here. If you want to see a video of what they do in California, Alex Jones, before he was as famous as he is now, Alex Jones has a whole documentary where he snuck into Bohemian Grove with a video camera and filmed the whole thing. And, there's speculation as to whether he was allowed to sneak in. But the elites, this place is full of the elites. Here's a picture of the Bohemian Grove one summer, and you've got Richard Nixon sitting at the table with Ronald Reagan, and this was before either of them were president. So these are the people that are going to, kill babies in the woods in front of a giant stone owl. And there's a lot of other weird shit that goes on there. It's like if you're a gay porn star, for example, that's like your biggest moneymaker of the season because they bring all the gay porn stars up to the Bohemian Grove so that all these elite rich Republicans can bang the gay porn stars all week while they're at the Grove. And it's a well-known thing. In fact, Richard Nixon's quoted about his visit to the Bohemian Grove. His actual quote is, "It's the most faggy goddamn thing you can possibly imagine." Look it up. That's what he said about the Bohemian Grove. It's the most faggy goddamn thing you can possibly imagine. I'm probably going to get a fucking strike on my channel for saying that. But Richard Nixon went to the Bohemian Grove, and there's the picture of him there with Ronald Reagan. All right, here's Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas hanging out at the Grove. I don't know who the guy is next to him, but that's the level that you have to be to get a ticket to the Bohemian Grove. But the superb owl, it's not just symbolic. I don't even understand the full symbolism of why they choose the owl, to slip in the owl everywhere they can. Other than like the owl is a predator. It preys on animal. They come out at night. They're secretive. You'll almost never see an owl. Have you ever seen an owl walking around the woods? Like how often have you actually seen an owl in your lifetime? I've seen them. I saw one at night. I was at a campsite once on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and an owl flew right at me, like came within like 3 feet of my head, flew over me and took off in another direction, and it was huge. And that was a really cool experience. You could have an owl 30 feet away from you and never know it's there. At night, you might hear them hooting and hollering. If you go out with a spotlight, you might catch one because you might get the glow of their eyes. But it's not easy to see a fucking owl. Yeah, Tom Hanks was in a movie about sacrificing a virgin to a volcano as well. Yeah, that's a good thing to point out. But if we're talking about the superb owl, right? How many other times do they throw the owl reference in? Well, I've got one example that you see every single day of your life. How many of you have ever seen one of these? A dollar bill. I'm sure a few of you have seen them. I know not everybody's from America that comes to the channel, but you've probably seen one of these in your lifetime. And, let's not even talk about the back of this freaking thing today, because that's not really the topic of today's discussion. But the dollar bill is full of crazy symbolism all over the place. And if you notice, the dollar bill, the $1 bill, is the only bill in our currency that never changes. It's always exactly the same. They've changed the 20s, the 10s, the 5s, the $100 bills. They changed the way that our money looks over and over and over and over again over the years, and they always leave the $1 bill alone. They don't change it. It pretty much looks the same as it always has, and it's because they covered this thing with all of their magical symbols and all of their elite Illuminati logos and shit. They don't want to fuck with it. They don't want to fuck with it. They don't want to lose the magic in their, it's basically they're casting a magic spell with these things. And whether you believe in magic or not, that's what they're doing. They don't give a fuck whether you believe in it or not. That's what they're doing. That's what all this stuff is for. And so on the front of the dollar bill, there's an owl. If you look right up in the top right corner, you'll see a little hoo. He's kind of hiding out there behind the number 1. But when you zoom in on it, there he is. There's the owl hanging out on your front of your dollar bill. So every dollar bill that's around America right now has got the owl on it. The same owl that they like to sacrifice babies to out into the fucking woods, when they're having their little human sacrifice rituals where, all the presidents and all the elites and the Supreme Court justices and basically all the Epstein Island customers go to every summer. They got the owl on your money. And that's not the only place that you'll see the owl. You ever go for a walk in Washington, D.C.? If you're ever at the Capitol building, there's a whole bunch of sidewalks behind the Capitol building on the side of the Capitol building that the mall is on. You might not notice. You could walk around all the sidewalks there, and it's a nice, beautiful park. I was actually at a rave once that they held in the park next to the Capitol building, on the sidewalks there, because there was a bunch of DJs protesting the Rave Act back in like the early 2000s. And so they got a permit and they threw a rave on Capitol Hill. It was fucking hilarious. I was there for that. That was really cool. Met a lot of cool people there. But anyway, that's the sidewalk. All right. You notice anything about the sidewalks surrounding the Capitol building? You notice we got the 2 eyes up here at the top. We got the body of the owl and the feet of the owl at the bottom. So if you look, and there's his wings. And there's his horns, and there's his little brow there between his eyes. So if you look at the sidewalk surrounding the Capitol building, it is in the shape of an owl. And if you want to, talk about, so these are the people that are in charge. These are their fucking logos. They use the symbols and the logos to tell each other who they are and what they believe and what club they're in. Just like when you look at a fucking McDonald's logo sticking up in the air on the side of a highway, logos are the best way to communicate broad ideas in a small package. Have you ever seen a 2-year-old kid that just learned how to talk when you're driving down the road and you see those golden arches off in the distance? McDonald's! McDonald's! You got 3 fucking screaming kids in the back that don't even know how to read, screaming about how they want chicken nuggets because they saw the golden arches in the background while you're going down the road. So logos are more powerful than words. You can communicate a lot more with a symbol than you can with words. So here's the owl. And it's just to tell you, the Capitol building is in the middle of the owl. So that all that's there for is to tell you, us peasants, that the people in that building are in the same club as the people that own all your fucking money. They're the same people that go out to the woods in California to sacrifice babies in front of a giant stone owl. So that's all they're doing, is they're just rubbing it in your face that, oh, go ahead and call your congressman about these pedophile rapists that murder babies in the woods at San Francisco. Go ahead and call them and see how that goes. See where that gets you, because all the people doing it this is where they work. They work in this building right here, inside the fucking sidewalk that's shaped like the owl, the same owl that you see on the dollar bill, that you see in the woods in California when, they're murdering babies in front of a fucking crowd, and, this is how many people are showing up to watch that shit. And they've been doing it. This photo is like 100. This photo is fucking like in the early 1900s or some shit. I don't even know what year this photograph is from, but this is how many of these people show up to the woods to watch them kill a fucking baby. It's fucked up. So we're back to the sidewalk around the U.S. Capitol. But when you look at the street plan of Washington, D.C., I've done this whole route on a bicycle. I know all these streets by the back of my hand. I was putting together. I was leading group rides of friends on the conspiracy theory bike tour of Washington, D.C. So let's just go. Here's a map of Washington, D.C. with some of the highlights for you. You've got the owl at the U.S. Capitol building represented here, but the streets surrounding the U.S. Capitol also form the Freemason logo with the inverted square and compass. So that's the square. If you look at the owl, it's turned 90 degrees, but at the foot of the owl intersects with the compass of the Freemason logo. And I don't have a slide for the Freemason logo, but Freemason logo. Boom, there's the Freemason logo. So the square and compass are represented in the street layout of Washington, D.C. in front of. So the people that worship the owl in the woods and murder babies in front of it are also the Freemasons, and that's who runs the fucking country. That's who runs the fucking government. And then we've got the White House, which is right here, which is just off of the street that forms one of the compass legs of the Freemason logo. And the White House is actually at the very bottom of the inverted satanic pyramid that the streets form in the street plan. And so when you look at the street plan that was created in, way back in the day, pretty much all of the streets, there's the White House at the bottom of the pentagram, but the streets form a pentagram. But curiously, they left this one part of the pentagram unfinished, where it extends from here to here. And that is actually like that in the original street plan of Washington, D.C., where the White House is right here. And then you see the pentagram above the White House. But you see this one spot where they didn't connect it together. And that really kind of I've always wondered that. Why didn't they did they just not want to make it too obvious for us peasants? But it's pretty easy to figure out when you look at an actual map of Washington, D.C. Here's another Google Maps snapshot of the pentagram, but you can see where the pentagram is not complete. And then at each point of the pentagram, the bottom point of the inverted star is the White House, but then there are significant things at all the points of the star. The traffic circles like DuPont Circle, Logan Circle, and there's a little thing there. I forget what it is. It's like a park or something. And then the other circles. And all of these points of the star, if you go there and visit it yourself, you'll see all kinds of weird shit and statues and stuff that have all kinds of symbolism and meaning. And then directly north of the White House, if you go to the White House and you go right to the middle of the pentagram and you just walk north along this street. I can't remember what the street is. We can go to Google Maps and go on a tour. But the Supreme Council, 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemasonry, the capital of the United States Freemasons is right there, directly north of the White House above the inverted pentagram. So, and that's just a little taste of some of the street layouts and the satanic shit going on with Washington, D.C. But if you want to see it for yourself, we can just go to maps.google.com. We can go to the White House. If we wanted to know the street names, you can go there yourself. But here we are. Boom. There's the pentagram above. Here's Logan Circle, DuPont Circle, the other circle of whatever that's called. There's a George Washington statue there. Here's the White House at the bottom of the pentagram. And then here's that other point, the Carnegie Library. Of course, it's the Carnegie Library is the other point of the star. Of course, it's the Carnegie Library. Why would it be anything else? And then, but here's the unfinished part of the pentagram. Rhode Island Avenue stops, and there's this gap where the pentagram doesn't complete. And like I showed you earlier, it's in the original, like it wasn't like it used to be there. And then they built other stuff and took the road away. It's weird that there's got to be something to the symbolism of that I'm not sure of, but why didn't they complete the pentagram? Because I mean, people back then were probably too dumb to even know what was going on when they came up with this design. But once again, if you go from the White House, I mean, we could take a virtual drive here, but here's the White House. And if we go north, 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 right on this street, 16th Street, it's right here. The Scottish House, right here. If we'll just go to the street view, boom. Oh, there's all kinds of, but yeah, here's the Freemason Temple. In fact, there's other photographs. If I go back to the street view, come on. If I go back to the above, oh, come on. Here we are. There were a bunch of, close that out. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, you can drag and drop. All right. So, yeah, here's a good spot to drop him. There's the Freemason Temple. You know, notice the lack of windows, of course. They don't want you looking in there. They don't want you to see what the fuck's going on in there. Oh, but we can go inside. We can go inside the Freemason Temple here. And we can just take a little tour. Oh, here's Albert Pike. Look up that fucking guy sometime. That'll blow your mind. Here we go. Oh, here's where they fucking probably sacrificed a few virgins in here. But yeah, here's the Freemason Temple. Man, that's some shit. And so yeah, this is where all the rich people get together and decide how they're gonna fuck us over. No cameras allowed. Who's going to be president next year? You know, this is where they pick. This is where they pick everybody who's going to be the leaders. What do we got here? Oh, can't. Yeah, but anyway, you know, we're getting a little virtual tour of DC. It's directly north of the White House, which is the White House at the bottom of the Star of Satan, which is just down the street from the compass and square of the, you know, the Freemasonic symbol there, which is, you know, and at the top of that is the owl that surrounds the Capitol building. And there you can see it, you know, in the photographic view. So yeah, just fun facts. And so that's why all the elites get together. Because, I mean, who goes to the fucking Super Bowl, right? Nobody goes to the Super Bowl unless you're rich. Like, that's the Super Bowl is like the celebrity football game where all the people that worship the owl out in the woods and sacrifice babies to it, they're the only ones that can afford a ticket to go to the fucking Super Bowl. That's why, like, when you're watching this stupid ass game, every 2 minutes they're panning across there. Oh, there's Snoop Dogg, and there's Taylor Swift, and there's another celebrity, and oh, there's Adam Sandler. We haven't heard from him for a while, but he's at the Super Bowl. Like, they're all there. They're all there. All the rich people, all the celebrities. That's the football game that they go to. I heard that the cheapest ticket to the Superb Owl this year was like $6,000 or something like that. You can go watch a fucking football game for six. I bought a fucking car for $3,800, a car that I can drive all over the fucking place. I can go, I can do things, and I'm gonna have this car for a while, probably, hopefully a couple of years without having to throw major. I've already had to do a major, somewhat major repair, but medium repair, I'll call it. So I spent over $1,000 to fix the damn thing when it all said and done. But people are paying $6,000 to go get nosebleed seats at a fucking football game, for crying out loud. And then, what is parking? If it's $6,000 for a ticket to the fucking game, how much did it cost to park your car? And then, most of these people are flying there. How many of the celebrities had to fly on their private jet to get there? Like, you're dropping, some of these people are probably dropping $100,000, $100,000 to go see a football game. And it wasn't even a good game. It was a fucking boring ass game. Like I said, Bad Bunny at the halftime show ran for more yards than both teams combined in the first half. And then, I didn't even have time to come up with slides about all the satanic shit at the halftime show that you see every year. This year it was Bad Bunny. It didn't look like satanic shit on the surface, but the funny thing about the Bad Bunny performance is that it was all in Spanish. So they can just swear and say whatever fucked up things that they want, and it doesn't get edited out and bleeped like it would be if it was all in English. And I thought that was pretty funny that they were just like getting away with saying all kinds of funny shit that would normally be censored on TV, but since it's Spanish, let it fly. But I mean, in my personal opinion, I thought the Super Bowl, it was probably one of the most boring Super Bowl halftime shows I've ever seen. I mean, it certainly wasn't as good as when we got to see Janet Jackson's show a titty. I mean, ever since Janet Jackson showed us her titty, I'm going to watch anytime there's a female performer getting on the stage of the Super Bowl, because I'm waiting for a vagina to come out. Haven't seen it yet, but Janet Jackson showed a titty. Somebody's going to show two titties. Next thing you know, there's going to be a vagina coming out on the stage. It's just, I'd give it 5 years. Give it 5 years. We'll see. There'll be the vagina scandal of the Super Bowl. We've already got girls walking around town showing off their vaginas everywhere they go with the fucking advanced technology and yoga pants that have come out in the last few years. Between the technologically advanced yoga pants, these fucking shorts that they wear now. Girls are basically walking around in their underwear now, as it is. I mean, it's just a matter of time before they're just putting like some saran wrap around their waist and calling it a dress. And I am not opposed to any of these, by the way. I'm totally fine with it. In fact, I've reached the point now where when I go out in public, I see more vagina than I would if I was a gynecologist, and I'm fine with it. If that's what you girls want to do. It's kind of weird, though. It's kind of weird because some of you are a bit young to be doing that, and I don't want to look at that. But I mean, when you're out there, it's like, how am I not going to fucking see it? So we all have to put up with that shit. Where are these fucking parents? I don't know. I certainly wouldn't let my daughter go walking around showing her vagina to people. But I guess I'm old school. I'm an old fuddy-duddy. So whatever. But let's see. Let's just look up Satanic Super Bowl show, and we'll just go with like, oh my God, before we even do that, I got the funniest thing. So I almost got killed during the Super Bowl because of my best friend. And I gotta pull this up. It's gonna take me a second to find it. Oh wait, get away from there. Oh, how do I even find this? These meta. I'm looking for something I bookmarked on Instagram. But this fucking everything that Mark Zuckerberg got his fucking hands on is a complete and total fucking disaster. I can't even find the bookmarks. What the fuck? Give me a second here. This website is such a disaster. All right, it's got to be here. It's got to be here. Come on. I should have seen it by now. There it is. All right, give me a second. Okay, so here we'll turn that on. We got the screen share. Okay, perfect. So my buddy that I was hanging out with, he said, he's like, you want to watch because all the Spanish people went in the house because we have multiple screens for the Super Bowl. They had a projector projecting it on the wall of the house. They had a big giant TV in the living room. And then we had a projector with a screen in the back patio, the pergola, I guess you call it. Fancy word for a back patio. And my buddy was like, we should watch the TP USA halftime show. And I was like, ha ha ha, because we weren't even like paying any attention to it, like we didn't care. We weren't going to go to the trouble to do that. It was just a joke. And I said to my friend, I'm like, oh, dude, I think I got a clip from it right here. And I pull this up on Instagram and I play it for him. And he's looking at this and he's like, dude, what the hell is wrong with that fucking girl? And he's like, what the fuck is she? My God, she's just taking shit too far. And he's going on and on and on. And I'm like, I look over at my buddy and I'm like, because he's like, what the fuck is wrong with that woman? I'm so sick and tired. What the fuck is this, dude? Where the fuck was this? And he's like going off, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, dude. I'm like, that's fake. I mean, he's like, get the fuck out. He's like, and then I fucking lost it. He thought that shit was real. He thought that was this Erica Kirk shit's gotten so out of hand with her fucking coming in with fireworks, looking like she's a fucking WWE wrestler about to try and get the fucking championship belt every time she shows up on a stage, that I played this clip for my friend and he thought it was real. And he really thought it was real. He's like, oh my God, what's wrong with this fucking bitch? I'm so sick of her. And he's like getting mad. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, no, dude, no, you did not. You did not believe this was. And I'm like, dude, that's fake. And he's like, he's one of us. He isn't going to fall for that shit. He isn't going to fall for that shit, but he did. But he did. And so now I'm like, I'm dying. I was laughing so hard that I actually blacked out for a second. Like, I blacked out. Like, I was laughing so hard that, have you ever like knocked yourself out? Like, there was this thing that we used to do when we were kids. You would like tell your friend to like stand at a squat and go, like breathe in and out like real heavily. And then you put your thumb in your mouth and blow on your thumb with your thumb on the roof of your mouth. And I don't know why, but it rushes all the blood into your head and you'll pass the fuck out. You will pass out. I don't know if you've ever been knocked out or what it feels like to be knocked unconscious and then just wake up a few minutes later going, what the fuck just happened? You can knock yourself out by doing that. And it's something we used to like trick all of our friends into doing it when we were kids and watch them fucking fall on the ground and twitch and shit. Like, probably could have fucking killed somebody, but we were young. It was just a goof. That happened to me at the freaking party. I was laughing so hard that my friend thought that shit was real because I mean, I guess you could fall for that. Erica Kirk. I mean, that doesn't really look any different. I didn't watch the TPUSA halftime show, but that could have been it. That could have been her. That could have been real. And but I was laughing so hard I actually blacked out. Like I lost vision. I went into the blackness, and then all of a sudden everything was wah 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 as I came back to consciousness. And I look at my friend and I'm like, oh my God, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. You fucking killed me. You killed me, dog. And then he starts laughing. I haven't laughed that fucking hard. I can't remember the last time I laughed so hard that I actually blacked out. I blacked out. I was laughing so hard. Because he thought that shit was real. I just thought it was a funny joke. But when he thought, I mean, he was reacting to it like, what the fuck is that bitch's problem? He's like, what the fuck is she doing now? That was awesome. But no, I mean, yeah, Blue Sky, y'all thought I was going to be talking about the Satanic halftime shows. And I mean, dude, there are plenty of YouTube videos. If you want to learn about the Satanic Super Bowl halftime shows, go to the search. That's real easy to do. We'll do it live. You go to google.com. I didn't even have to spell it right. I spelled it with too many O's, and I still got there. Boom. Satanic. Here, let's just type Satanic Super Bowl halftime show. And let's see. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure that Google's going to give me the best. You know what? You're probably going to have to go to DuckDuckGo for this one. I wasn't thinking, because Google is run by the people that rape kids and kill babies in the woods in front of the big stone owl. So DuckDuckGo. Let's see what we get there. Satanic Super Bowl halftime show. And all I'm getting is fucking news. Here we go. They say all hidden symbolism behind Bad Bunny's epic Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. But it's all going to be it's all just recent links about the newest one. Let's see what YouTube brings up. Let's see what you get. It's all just going to be. Oh, here's the most demonic Super Bowl ever. I don't even know which one that was. But it's all going to be. You're going to have to say, oh, here's Madonna's Satanic Super Bowl halftime show. Here's 2021 Satan's Super Bowl. Here's okay, that's recent. That's the last one. You might have to dig because all this stuff's going to get crowded in with all the new stuff. There are lots of people on YouTube that will analyze the Super Bowl halftime shows and tell you all the shit that's in it. I'm not going to sit here and play the videos because it's, you can go do that yourself. But yeah, you're going to see that the results are tainted just because the Super Bowl was a few days ago. Here's Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl decoded. But I guarantee you, if you watch 2 or 3 of these videos, your feed will fill up with it. It's like anything. You watch one video from you watch one fucking weird ass video and all of a sudden your whole feed is populated with shit you don't even want to watch. That happens to me all the time. You watch one video and then you come back and there's 30 more in your feed, and that's all they're showing you for the feed. And it takes a while for the algorithm to switch to whatever new thing that you're watching. But yeah, there's just gonna be tons and tons of shit about Bad Bunny. Oh, here's one with Prince. Here's pregnant Rihanna, Super Bowl halftime show. But no, I mean, if you want the satanic symbolism videos, you might have to go shit. You might have to go to Rumble. Let's see what we find on Rumble. Satanic Super Bowl halftime show. It's just going to be, you might, yeah, I mean, I guess if you go, yeah, I mean, oh man, it's definitely getting harder to find stuff that you used to be able to just pull up at a moment's notice because they don't want you, just like they don't want you watching my channel. Um, they're definitely making it hard to find stuff that used to be super easy to find. I might have to compile a list of videos for you all and then just share it with you next time. um, I might just have to post them in the chat or something. Um, hmm. Let's see if this guy had this guy disappeared off the face of the earth. This guy Freeman, he's a cool motherfucker though. But he's done a whole bunch of shows about the satanic symbolism of the Super Bowl. I wonder if he has a search function on his. Probably not, because his website's pretty basic. Probably doesn't even have a. Probably doesn't even have a fucking search field. Nope. So I don't know if I load a whole bunch of shows, then can I search? No. But anyway, that dude does a lot of stuff about it. I don't know. I'm not prepared for the Super Bowl, for the satanic halftime shows. Um, Super Bowl halftime show, satanic. Even if you, I mean, maybe the image search will pull up stuff. Here we go. Here's one about Katy Perry and her satanic stuff. Satan trying to make evil look normal. um, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff in there. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a lot of time to prepare for today's show. I basically wanted to talk about the owl. And part of the reason why I didn't have time to prepare for today as much as I wanted to was because probation got up my ass and pretty much took most of my day away. So I would have actually had more time to compile some stuff, uh maybe pull up a few little clips and stuff like that. One thing, let's see. So, oh yeah, of course it's a fall. Okay, so here's a funny thing I just did. I typed in London Olympic Games COVID germs opening ceremony, and of course all the results that come up in Google. False claim. London Olympic Games ceremony does not show prior knowledge. They did not predict COVID-19 and blah blah blah. It's all false. It's conspiracy theory. All right, let's see what images shows. Um, oh, here's a bunch of nurses dancing around at the Olympic opening ceremonies. Why would they be doing that? Here, where are the fucking of course Google's gonna fucking hide this shit and make it not come up. Of course they are. Oh my god, I hate this I fucking hate Google. I will never give Google another dime ever in my life. Let's see what we get with DuckDuckGo. Come on. I've seen these photos a million times, and then, oh yeah, here's a fucking dead baby that they probably sacrificed at whatever a bunch of nurses and hospital beds surrounding a dead baby that they probably burned at the Bohemian Grove. But why the fuck? As soon as this is why I need to do this stuff before we're live. Because I will find what I'm looking for if I have time to find it. But they are trying to make things hard to find. But they were basically fucking at the opening ceremonies of the London Olympics, where you see all the nurses dancing around and the dead baby and all that. There was a bunch of fucking germ costumes. They were dancing around in germ costumes, and the germs looked just like the COVID virus germ that they showed on TV during that whole scam. And there's a reason why that shit's not coming up in searches when I'm typing the exact thing I'm looking for. Fuck, man, let's try Rumble. Even these like alternative media platforms like Rumble and DuckDuckGo and all, they're all bought out and paid for and owned by the same scumbags that raped all the fucking kids. Like, here's one. Let me just see. Let's see what this brings up. It's 10 minutes, though. We're live. Let's just scan through this thing.
These symbols intentionally hide, quote, a secret which veils mysterious forces. These energies, when released, can have a potent effect, unquote. Scottish philosopher
Come on, where the fuck is it?
Added, quote, by symbols accordingly is man guided and commanded.
This is what, but hey, we're live. That's what the live stream's all about, right? I had no idea what we were gonna do today. This is all good. Oh, a bunch more. Look at these. Remember all the fucking dancing nurses from the COVID scam? All these fucking nurses with TikTok dance videos. Like, what in the fuck was that shit about? Here's the dead baby from the fucking Bohemian Grove. Like, oh, let's see. What else? How many? Come on, where the fuck is this? Is like a Mandela effect now that I'm having. Because I know what I fucking saw. And I'm not seeing a goddamn thing. Where the fuck are the germ dancers? Where the fuck are they? That's fucking nuts. This is like a Mandela effect because I know what I saw. Oh, here's the Olympics. Here's the opening ceremony. Oh, here the dancing nurses. There's the girl from the fucking Exorcist. Oh yeah, here's like a fucking death or a demon or a witch or something rising up a bunch above all. What the fuck does this shit have to do with the Olympics? By the way, what the hell does this shit have to do with the Olympics? Come on, but I'm looking for the damn germ dancers. Oh, here's all the dancing nurses from the TikTok videos. Oh my God, how am I not finding this? All right. Yeah, there's the germ. I'm telling you, in the Olympics, in the opening ceremonies, unless it's a fucking Mandela effect and it's gone, there were dancers dancing around in costumes that looked like this. There it is, the COVID germ with all the spikes on it and shit. Oh, warning, heads up. Oh, great. Fuck. I just got a warning saying I just fucking... Oh, did we just get... What do we do? Before you can are we still alive or did I get kicked off? Did we just get kicked off? Before you can live stream, you need to meet our age restriction. I just got this warning flashed at me. Okay. I don't even fucking know. You can't do shit on these channels anymore without YouTube's bot automatically showing up to fuck with you. I don't know. I must have said something wrong. So I don't know. But I guess if I'm still on, this has happened before. I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. Whatever, dude. I'm so sick of fucking YouTube. I say it's not for kids in the, when you're configuring the live stream or whatever. So there's probably going to be a restriction on the replay or whatever. For me, Adam, I don't care about camaraderie. You won't ever catch me watching any sports or anything for that matter on TV. I just look at YouTube and I go to work. That's the end of it. It's good. It's nothing wrong with that. That's the only sports ball game I've seen in a year. I don't watch any of it. I don't hate sports. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate sports. I just don't think modern sports are like, I even think I watched the entire Tour de France. I watched every hour of the coverage to the point where it took me like 11 days after the race was over to see the end of the race, because it's very difficult to watch 5 hours a day of cycling coverage day after day after day. So now I'm burned out because now I see this YouTube warning of like, what the hell did I do now? I guess I'll have to take it to my elite YouTube boot camp creator conference Zoom meeting this week and say, what the hell did I do wrong now? But I may have to like go back on Rumble and some of these other platforms and whatever. Maybe it's probably because I was talking about the babies that they do what they do with at the Bohemian Grove. I bet that was what it was. I bet that's what it was. That's I guarantee you that's what it was. So now I'm gonna see is my live streaming restricted? I'm gonna go to YouTube Studio, or I'm gonna go see, YouTube Studio might tell me what's up. Because maybe I won't be able to do live streams anymore. That's what they were kind of telling me. Let's see. I know people who get kicked off YouTube left and right all the time for nothing. COVID talk, sure, that was probably a lot of it. Dancing nurses, we can't make fun of the dancing nurses for sure. I don't see any warnings on my channel itself. I'm just kind of poking through here. Live, we're live right now. What do we got? There's no restrictions on this video. Who knows, dude? Who knows? I'm just gonna roll with it and see what. I don't see any problems in the like, I don't even see the last time I got a warning from them. I got a copyright warning. And but anyway, we'll see what happens after I save the stream for a replay, and then I'll see if I can create a new stream. What do we got here? Yeah, I don't see anything. I don't know. I'm just sick and tired of this shit. I got banned on X for a day because I told Dan Bongino in a comment to one of his posts that showed up on my feed, even though I don't follow him. That's another thing about X that I'm sick of, is that when you go to the feed where you can only see the people that you follow, people I don't follow anymore show up in there. Cat Turd, Dan Bongino, all these douchebags that I can't stand. I have to see their posts. So Dan Bongino posted something, and I said, why don't you go choke on a dick? Boom, you're banned. As soon as I said that, I got banned by the bot. 24-hour ban where I can't do anything on X. I had to delete the post and say I'm sorry and all this other bullshit. And then they put a countdown timer on it, and you have to you can't come back for 24 hours. And then I'm like, wait a minute. So I filed an appeal, and I used Grok. I used their own AI bot to go through all of X. And I said, how many people have posts that are live and visible right now where they told somebody to go choke on a dick? And Grok was like, boom, here's a whole list. Gave me the URLs and everything. Hundreds of X posts where somebody told somebody else to literally to go choke on a dick. And so I gathered all that up, and I filed an appeal to the X, court of law. And I guess they still haven't reviewed my my case, because my 24 hours of restrictions disappeared on time. But I never got a response or an apology for being banned for telling somebody to go choke on a dick, even though there were hundreds of posts that Grok itself found. Here's a whole bunch of posts on X where somebody told somebody else to go choke on a dick. But I did notice that the people that got away with saying go choke on a dick were all liberals telling a conservative to go choke on a dick. So whatever that's worth to you, because the Democrats can do whatever the fuck they want. And so anyway, when it started, I have to wear a mask to go into my government liquor store in British Columbia. And I had the word hoax written across the front of my mask. And you could see the employees of that store visibly scowling at me. See, I wouldn't even wear the mask. Never fucking put that thing on. And so I could see them scowling at me, and they could see me not giving a fuck at all. And so, every time I got kicked out of a place because I wouldn't put my mask on, the funny thing about it, and I mean every single time that I got into a beef or a scuffle or a kerfuffle or whatever you want to call it because I wouldn't put the stupid thing on my face, I would not fucking do it. Firm on that. I will not go along with this bullshit. If they pull it again, I'm not going along with it. Doesn't matter. Whatever the fuck they do next, I will not. In fact, I am more firm now than I was then, and I was firm then. And God, I'm not kidding you. Every single time that I had a problem, quote unquote, because I wouldn't wear my mask like a good boy, I got rewarded for it by the good Lord. I can pull random examples, but the one that stood out to me, I was in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I was at the REI store. Now, I've talked about on the store or on this channel before how there's always a conservative and a liberal version of every business in America. So, you've got Walmart for the Republicans, you've got Target for the Democrats. When it comes to outdoor adventures, you've got REI for the blue-haired liberals, and you've got Cabela's for the Republicans. And you can go down, you can give me a topic, and I'll tell you what the Republican version and the Democrat version is of whatever that business genre is. So I was in, and I shop at both. There's things that I can get at REI that you can't get at Cabela's. and vice versa. You can't buy guns at REI, but you could buy guns and hunting gear at Cabela's. But you can't get lightweight camping gear. You can't get certain things at Cabela's that you can get at REI. So I wanted a coat. It was 80 degrees when we left Pittsburgh, but it was October and it was just a fluke. We got to Minnesota and it was snowing. And we're like, ooh, shit, I didn't bring a coat. And we were going camping that night. We were camping that night next to a lake. And I didn't have a coat. And I'm like, this is going to be a shitty camp night if I don't get a coat. So we went to REI. I was willing to buy I was going to get a North Face coat because I wanted a down jacket that was going to be comfortable and lightweight. And I figured I would get a North Face down jacket that I could pack in a backpacking kit. So I had a purpose to this. It was like a prepper kind of a thing. So a North Face jacket, that's fucking expensive. A down jacket, that's like a $200 jacket. So I'm looking at the North Face jackets at REI, and all the like 5 employees swarm me and start screaming at me at the top of their lungs to get the fuck out of there. They're going to call the cops. They're screaming at me to put a mask on, and I wouldn't. They're like, you have to leave. You have to leave. And even while they're chasing me out of the store, they're screaming at me to put the fucking mask on. And I was like, go choke. I was like, once again, go choke on a fucking dick, you stupid bitch, you blue-haired fucking retard. And I was like, I was yelling at them. Fuck you. I told REI I'll never go in one of your stores again, and I never have. I've never been inside of one, and I never will again. If I need to get something now, I'll go to fucking Amazon. If I can't go to Dick's Sporting Goods, or I think there's a Cabela's somewhere around here. There's definitely the Bass Pro Shop. If I need some camping shit and I can't find it in a store here, I'm not going to REI, and I'll get it on Amazon. I'll just plan in advance. I'm never setting foot in REI again from that. It was like the worst, crazy, psychotic nut job shit as far as me being treated that way for not wearing a mask. It was fucking wild. They chased me across the parking lot, screaming at me. Like Minnesota, Minneapolis. Look at all the shit going on in Minneapolis now. It was those people. So, my girlfriend at the time, she thought it was funny, but she was a little bit of a liberal. So she thought I was, she thought I was being a little ridiculous. I need a drink of water here. Hold on. But she knew from day one when she met me that I was not going along with this shit. And it actually gave her the confidence to not go along with it with me. You know what I mean? Like, she felt comfortable not going along with the shit when she was with me because I'm, the alpha male who don't give a fuck. And nobody's going to tell me to put a stupid thing on my face. I did not do it. So we leave REI. Obviously, the North Face jacket was not in the cards today. Looked on Google Maps. I looked up from my driver's seat in the Jeep, and I'm like, holy shit, there's a Cabela's right there across the street. Cabela's. Boom. Yeah, let's go there. I bet I don't have to wear a mask there. I walk into Cabela's. No, nobody gave a fuck about me not wearing a mask. And half of the people in the store weren't wearing masks, and half of the employees weren't wearing masks. They're Republican outfitters, blue-haired liberal retard outfitters compared to Republican outfitters. Different vibe. Totally laid back. Nobody gave a fuck. So I go over to the jackets. It's Columbia. It's not North Face. But I got a North Face, or I got a Columbia synthetic, kind of like a down jacket, puffy, but not real thick, really lightweight. And it's got this like metallic reflective interior. I don't know what they call it, what the brand name is. But there's a term for it. And I'm telling you, this jacket, I got this coat for $50 on sale. $50, not 300 or 200. Let me just see if I can look this up. Omni Heat. Omni Heat. This is what it is. Let's share my screen. I got one of these jackets. If the thing if the thing loads, yeah, it's kind of like this. If I can find one that looks like the one I got. Very thin, lightweight. I can pack it in a backpack, no problem. It's this one. It almost looks identical to that. All right, can I get this thing? Can we see the pictures without the stupid fucking thing in the middle of it? I guess not. But all right, this coat. I got this thing for $50. And it's thinner. It's thinner than a North Face jacket. Yeah, and it's got this this is my coat. I'm telling you, this is like my favorite winter coat I've ever had. Because it's warm. I can wear this when it's freezing ass cold in the middle of winter. I can wear this thing skiing. I've got another Columbia outer shell, and I've got inner shell. I've got like extra layers, but this freaking thing, I was wearing nothing but a t-shirt under this when we were camping, and it was below freezing in Minneapolis it was outside of Minneapolis in some, state park or something like that. I was wearing this thing in freezing cold. And that reflective liner in there is warm as hell. This is like my favorite coat. $50 when a North Face jacket that I was willing to go to REI and get a North Face down jacket and spend $250, $300 because that's what they cost. I ended up with the $50 Columbia jacket, which was on sale. And it was on sale at a good discount. It was $50. I know they cost more than that. And that was the coat, the one that I just showed you. That's almost identical to it. And it's sitting right over here. Obviously, I don't need it anymore because I live in Texas, but I did wear it. I actually wore that one of the days when it was cold. It was 20 degrees outside when I went to work. I put on that Columbia jacket and I was toasty warm when I started up my car before my car warmed up. I felt fine. That little Columbia jacket kicks the shit out of a North Face jacket. And it was like 1/5 of the price and on sale, all because I got chased out of REI for not wearing a mask. It was like my reward from Jesus. We had all kinds of money left over. So we bought a Mr. Buddy heater that we could keep in the tent, a bunch of propane canisters. We got the small Mr. Buddy heater that you just screw on top of a propane canister. And so we had that in our tent. And so with that thing throwing out some heat, even though we were in a tent, and there was other ways to keep warm when you're camping with a girl. I mean, but to get the party started, you use the Mr. Buddy until you can take that coat off and some other things off, and then you find other ways to keep warm. But we made it. Everything worked out great. And it was all because they kicked me out of REI for not wearing a stupid mask. And there were other times. There was one time I went into Dunham's Sporting Goods and I picked up a Yeti cooler, the Yeti Roadie cooler. And I decided I was getting top of the line cooler because I was having problems on road trips with my ice melting too fast. Ice has always been a problem on some long road trips because if you got a shitty cooler, I don't like having to stop just because my ice went bad. And so there's times where I've gone wilderness camping for 10 days, but I have to go back into town to get more ice. And so my ultimate goal was to get a solar panel generator with electric freezer cooler system, which, the 3 pieces you're looking at, you can get into the game for under $1,000. If you're getting top of the line shit, it's going to cost you about $2,000. You could probably put the whole thing together for $500. Solar panel, battery, solar generator, but it's basically a battery pack. And the cooler itself And if you look for deals, but it's a system. So then you can go camping anywhere. And as long as there's sunlight, your shit's going to stay cold. You never have to go get ice. Um, the battery pack itself can keep the cooler going for like 24 hours in some cases. The solar panel will keep the battery topped off. Plus, you can put the thing in your vehicle and charge it with your vehicle as well. So if you're camping next to your vehicle, which is I was doing this specifically for road trips and long road trips, and like maybe where I'm going to be sitting in the woods for a few days and not wanting to drive anywhere, I don't want to have to just make a special trip. Sometimes I would be camping so far from civilization that it would be a 30-mile drive. Have to go 30 miles into town just to get ice and then go 30 miles back to where I'm camping. And maybe it's a 3-hour drive because that 30 miles is on some rugged ass state forest or national forest dirt roads full of fucking creek crossings and shit like that. So yeah, I mean, you're okay. We're going back to sports now in the live chat. Even the Tour de France was compromised by Lance Armstrong and his nonsense. First of all, it wasn't nonsense. Everybody was cheating. So he just figured out how to cheat better than everybody else. So I don't even care. But yeah, they cheat. They're still cheating. Tadej Pogacar, it's going to come out someday that he did something to cheat. If I was in the Tour de France, fuck, I'd be doing the drugs. I'd be getting like all the needles, all the pills, everything I can get my hands on. I'd hide a motor in my bike. I would, anything I can do. Anything I can do. I would have a pocket full of thumbtacks. I'd just, if I'm ahead of everybody, just toss a bunch of tacks onto the fucking road so that everybody behind me gets a flat tire. If I'm getting a water bottle at the team car and I'm not feeling it that day, I'm going to hold on to the fucking car and let them pull me back to the race without me having to pedal. I don't know. Can we come up with 8 other ways? I would cheat the whole fuck because, you know, everybody told me while I was growing up that cheaters never win. And now we're adults and I'm like, well, isn't that some fucking bullshit? Because Lance Armstrong won the Tour de France 7 years in a row. And motherfucker, he has more money in the bank now than when he admitted that he was cheating. He's got mansions and all kinds of pussy. He banged the fucking Olsen twins, Sheryl Crow. Motherfucker, he is living the life. He has a mansion on a fucking lake. He probably has another mansion in the mountains in Colorado. He's doing all right. Seems like cheating worked out just fine for him. Don't tell me cheaters never win. Okay. So let's see who else. Look at these fucking pedophiles that bang the kids on Epstein Island. They're doing all right. Bill Gates, he's still doing all right. He might have some embarrassing news stories coming out, but he's rich enough he could just get on his fucking yacht and sail over to fucking Greece and live where they don't arrest the pedophiles, you know, with Tom Hanks and the rest of the gang. They're doing just fine. They're doing just fine. You put out a mean tweet, if you're one of us peasants, they put me in federal prison for 2 fucking years for a tweet. But if I had only been a billionaire raping kids on a fucking island in the Caribbean, I'd still be living my life. Not only would I be living my best life right now, but the same people that put me in federal prison for a tweet, they would be testifying in front of Congress today about how we can't go after people like me if I was a kid diddler who did that shit. Pam Bondi, the Attorney General of the United States, would be fighting for me. She'd be standing up for my rights as a billionaire pedophile. She would be taking one for the fucking team on my behalf. But if you're just a fucking peasant who mouthed off on Twitter one day, you're going to federal prison for 2 years over a fucking tweet. And so we're at 3 hours and 8 minutes. And that's, you know, I always give you that bonus hour. And I'm not one of these people that say, oh, we're going to switch to the members only for the last hour and, you know, bleed you guys dry. I don't even run ads for the live stream. You got 3 fucking hours with no commercials. Fuck all these people that showed up at the beginning who got mad because I was talking about the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? All these people that got mad about me talking about the wrong thing and they had to leave. We were up to like 10, 15 people, and then all of a sudden we were down to 2. All those people, you don't even have to watch a commercial for if you're going to come live. Now, as soon as I hit that button to end the stream, I'm going to turn the ads on and let them run. Get my pennies. Got to make my pennies. But 6 months from now, I'll get another payout because I'm not getting paid like I was when I was putting up daily videos with ads. But that's fine. I'm not totally upset about that. I make these choices consciously. I'm just doing what I want to do. I figure the long run is going to be better if I do that. So, but I'm just going to, take a minute to say thank you, everybody, for popping in. And once again, if you want to, it's at the end we got 10 people in the house. So if y'all give me a thumbs up, we're at 8 thumbs up right now. If I can get 12 thumbs up by the time I shut this thing off, it might trigger the algorithm to bring more people to the party next time. And then, the subscribe button. I still don't have any new subscribers, even though a video went to like 700 something views. I haven't had a new subscriber in 17 months. And when I say that, the number goes up and down. I'm looking at the dashboard right now. It says I'm at 1,230 subscribers. That will go up to 1,240. And it'll go back down to 1,230, and it just goes up and down, and it stays in that range. But I have never gotten higher than 1,240 in 17 months, even though I got 1,200 subscribers in 60 days, and then it just stopped. But I do see that maybe I'll do a video in the park this week, and I'll pick a topic or a theme or whatever that people... I already know that the video I did last week didn't get the views because of the title I put on it. Take off your fucking mask was the title. And I knew as soon as I did that, like, you just killed yourself in the algorithm there, dog. But I don't care about the fucking algorithm. I just don't. I'm not doing this for fame and fortune. At this point, it is what it is. I'm not going to compromise who I am to kiss the algorithm's ass and to placate the censorship-ridden dickwads that run YouTube and Google and kowtow to their demands. And if they don't like it, I got kicked off of X for saying they can go choke on a dick. They haven't kicked me off of YouTube for saying that one yet. But on X, it was a bot, and it said because it's a threat of violence, probably because of the word choke as part of go choke on a dick. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm sure this live stream's got all kinds of flags flying, so I'm not going to see the impressions on that. But maybe I'll do a tame video once in a while that's still me, but can sneak past the shadow ban again and see what I can do to the channel with that. But with that, I'm going to say peace out, and I'm hungry. I got to go get something to eat. When's the Steam machine coming out? Anybody know? I don't even know. What are we talking? Oh, the game system. It's kind of what I thought you meant. No idea, man. No idea. I know that the next Xbox is supposed to be a PC. Like, it's supposed to be straight up PC. Like, I thought I heard that they're removing the paid requirement to play multiplayer games on Xbox Live. But I don't have an Xbox anymore. I don't know if I can ever unlock my Xbox account. I have a bunch of games and movies and shit in there that I you know, that all goes back to when the feds came and kicked down my door. Yeah, I mean, people aren't going to give up their Xbox because Bill Gates raped kids. They're still going to call me an asshole for talking about Bill Gates raping kids, but they're not going to call Bill Gates an asshole for raping the kids. So that's how it works. That's how it works. Bill Gates can rape kids. He could be raping a fucking kid right now. He's not an asshole. But if I talk about it, that makes me the asshole. And that's just how it works. And with that, I'm going to say thank you all for showing up tonight. And I'll give you a big peace out. And for all you awesome channel members, I'll see you on Sunday. The rest of you, I'll see you next Wednesday. Later. Oop, I try.